Hello, everyone. It is a Tuesday. It means it's time for True Crime Tuesday. I'm your host, Tim Dennis. We have got an excellent show ahead, folks. Dumb Crime, Stupid Criminals with Travis Thorpe on the way in just a bit. But first, I had the privilege of reading an excellent book this past weekend. We have an old friend back with us today. Craig McGuire is with us, and he had the privilege of being able to write about the life of an FBI agent, and I don't want to underscore or underplay this book by any means. The book is called Empire City Under Siege, 3 decades of New York FBI field office manhunts, murders, and Mafia Wars. Folks, if you are a fan of any of the mafioso stuff that's out there, if you're a fan of New York City in general or New York City crime, if you're a fan of some of the behind-the-scenes stories that are out there, Craig has put together a book that's out there that I tell you, it'll give you chills. The stories in here are great stories. If you love cop buddy stories, some of the stories in here will make you laugh. They'll make you cry. These stories are amazing. I want to tell you a little bit about Craig and remind you about Craig before we bring him in here. Craig McGuire is a veteran former journalist and true crime author. You might remember him when we had him on with Carmine and the 13th Avenue Boys. That's a wonderful book as well. I encourage you to go get that one too. Surviving Brooklyn's Colombo Mob, and that's the other part of the title, and Brooklyn's Most Wanted, ranking the top 100 most notorious criminals, crooks, and creeps from the county of the King. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome him back to True Crime Tuesday, Craig McGuire. Craig, how you doing?
Great, Tim. Great to be back. Thanks for having me on the show. Big fan.
Thank you so much for being on, my friend. Listen, this book, I tell you, it's the life of Anthony John Nelson, a life that I think, he probably packed, I got to say, 5 lifetimes into just one career. You talk about him. Now, it would be enough if he went in and said, you know what, I was a relevant part of helping break up just one crime family, just one mafioso crime family. That would be enough to write a book, right? But you talk about a man who went in and had a hand in multiple crime families and helping with getting rid of multiple crime families. Then he's on site for 9/11. He's on site for many other things we're going to talk about today. I got to think that with Officer Nelson, first of all, I want to get to this point here, Craig. The amount of wear, tear, and PTSD in this man has got to be huge.
Yeah, Tim, that's an interesting way to look at it. This is such a privilege to work on this book with Anthony. The men and women who serve in law enforcement, they demonstrate extraordinary courage and resiliency every single day. Often in ways, and usually in ways the public do not see. We live in these challenging times, and challenges to policing are immense. I heard this morning that there was this historic gap in homicide. So a homicide had not been reported in the last 12 days until I believe there was a homicide in Soundview. When Anthony joined the FBI, crime was peaking in New York City. You had 5 murders being reported per day. There were 3,000 bombings throughout that time in the 1970s. So, interestingly enough, when Anthony graduated Quantico and he was going to get his assignment, many other agents weren't too keen to jump right in and go to like one of the large offices like New York. But he was thrilled when he got assigned to the New York office. So you had this really cauldron of criminal activity where the rise of organized crime was really cementing during those decades. While there was all this bombing activity, insurgents, hijackings, auto theft. You had the rise of credit card crimes, white collar crimes. It was just, and Anthony jumped right into the New York office as an undercover in the Red Hook section of Brooklyn.
And you're talking hotspots here. I mean, you're talking about, well, gosh, I mean, where do we start? Okay, so you want to talk about a case that absolutely, my mind is swimming here, Craig, when I think about start points or where I want to start. But okay, even say the death of Paul Castellano, right? And Anthony Nelson is right in the middle of it.
Yes. Interestingly enough, Anthony was born in Red Hook in 1949. Now, this is Red Hook from on the waterfront Red Hook. This is like a decade removed of Al Capone as a leg breaker in the saloons along the waterfront and the docks, like real last exit to Brooklyn. Eventually moves to Park Slope with his family. And then is heavily like in the middle of that 1950s stickball and stoop Brooklyn brownstone street culture where organized crime is everywhere. All the five families, and when they talk about the five families, they were integrated throughout every neighborhood. So it wasn't like you did have like certain concentrations of certain families, but they pretty much operated collectively throughout all these areas. So this is the environment that Anthony grows up in, and his most of his friends gravitate towards organized crime figures. He's drawn to police officers. And remember, this is pre 911 emergency call system. So the only way to call the fire department is call the fire department or call the switchboard or call the hospital. So you had a heavy presence of beat cops. So it's very visceral. You have you have the cops and robbers right outside your stoop. He grows up with it. And eventually, when he returns from Quantico, he's assigned to Red Hook, where he was actually born, to be an undercover operative associated with the Gambino family, fronting for a hijack warehouse, where he gets first right of refusal. So he's getting these hijacking crews bringing in trailers full of merchandise, and he gets first right of refusal. So he's right in the middle of it from the outset. And then it's interesting. Your initial point is so spot on. This is 500 pages of action-packed crimes and cases and collaborations. So it's real challenging to put these together in sort of in a book form. So I really looked at Anthony's career trajectory. So more than 3 decades in the FBI, and then he spent time as an investigator in the Brooklyn District Attorney's Office. But if you look at the evolution of the FBI during this period, this really transformative period for the FBI, for law enforcement, you had such a in the early part of the 20th century, when it was the Bureau of Investigation, which was the precursor, you had rising trends in urbanization, rising trends in immigration. So you had a need for a sort of centralized investigative arm of the Justice Department to be able to cross jurisdictions, to be able to keep up with rapidly evolving law enforcement. Then you had prohibition, where all crime became organized, multi-jurisdictional conspiracies, hijacking, en masse, the rise of these families, the creation of the commission, and just the decades of overflow building strength. At the same time, in parallel, you have FBI, local law enforcement, all the various agencies of the federal government really trying to keep pace. At the same time, you have the evolution of technology. It's hard to imagine now being able to combat organized crime without databases.
Right.
Whereas an investigator, if a crew creates a crime, perpetrates a crime in Brooklyn and does the same crime in Connecticut or the Bronx, it's only manually by visiting those jurisdictions, talking to investigators, are you able to knit these together?
Yeah.
Anthony has some really provocative stories in the book about, hostage crises. So you're called as a FBI agent to respond to a scene. Law enforcement will usually bring in federal authorities because they have better resources to bear, expertise when time really matters and lives are really on the line. You don't have a cell phone. The most important thing you have to do is establish contact right away. And And Anthony said, I just had to make sure I always had dimes in my pocket,
Yeah.
to be able to find, a working payphone, or find a neighbor that'll let them into the home. And or before he was appointed as sworn in as a special agent and accepted to the bureau, he had earlier positions at the FBI as an electronics technician. So early on, that sort of cat and mouse, using really archaic technology to plant bugs in organized crime hotspots. So you're able to, through the lens of Anthony's career, you're able to see these milestones, this evolution culminating in like these epic Mafia Wars in the 1980s and 1990s, where Anthony he's an FBI agent. Eventually he's promoted to supervisory special agent. There is he's working in the field office, but the FBI has these resident agencies, which is sort of like a field office inside a field office, and he's on the Gambino squad when the Brooklyn, Queens metropolitan resident agency opens up. So right away, before he's even able to move his material in, he's getting tips. This is a very important piece about understanding what the FBI can bring to bear. It's the ability to cultivate these confidential informants, so necessary to building these conspiracies.
Now, real quick, before we get to this next part, you were talking about the different technology and whatnot. I got to tell you, one of the things that came up, and you're talking about the different ways they had to try and communicate with each other. One of the things that came up that you brought up in the book was at one point when they were doing a hostage negotiation, having to go down into the basement of one of the apartment buildings with what's known as a clip phone, or having to go down into the basement, tap into a line of one of the apartment dwellers, because you've got the junction box downstairs, which I don't think a lot of people know about. And the phone company technicians have this it looks like a little handset with a clip on the end, a little wire clip that you can tap into a phone and into the phone line and actually use the physical phone line. I've actually used those phones before, but I've used them having to build radio stations. What you do is you use that phone in order to figure out what RF line you have in order to string audio cable. So, but yeah, I was completely familiar with what this thing is when you're talking about it in the book, and I'm having my own flashback, setting up studios. So I thought that was kind of cool. But let me get back to the point here, and that's this: as you're coming up, and as Anthony is coming up here in the Gambino squad, he of course, you don't do it on your own. You don't learn the ropes on your own. You don't learn how to infiltrate this mob on your own. You're going to get killed, obviously. But he did have a legendary detective with him that not only showed him the ropes, but was fluent in Italian, all dialects of Italian. He was known on the streets, and that was Kenny McCabe. Can you tell us a little bit about Kenny and why he was so good at his job and was highly regarded?
Yes. If I just focused on that relationship alone, it could be a series of books. It's a compelling a story of friendship, partnership in the context of this desperate battle against organized crime. So soon after Anthony arrives in the New York office and he's sworn in and he's working a hijacking case, he gets a tip from a CI about hijacking goods parked in Sheepshead Bay. He scouts out the scene, not necessarily to recover the stolen goods, but wants to see who responds. So you're able to, capture the crew and foil the whole conspiracy. So he's at the same time, there's this other investigator, which he's sort of peripherally aware of, but he hasn't met him yet. He's also scouting the scene. So later on, he's at goes to the NYPD. Officer Nevins, famous detective, introduces him to Kenny McCabe, and Kenny's able to, the two of them together, work the case, and what that sets them off on this friendship. Now, really, when you think of Anthony Nelson, I think he's like the quintessential G-man. He just has that presence about him, that authoritative approach. He's able to pass easily as lawman or criminal. Unfortunately, Kenny McCabe's not with us, so never had the privilege of meeting him, but universally respected as perhaps as not perhaps as the definitive weapon against organized crime in the latter half of the 20th century. He spent decades as a detective for the NYPD, and then later for the U.S. District Attorney's Office in the Southern District. Just the known as the encyclopedia of organized crime. He spent a career just monitoring, learning, and he could repeat it at will. Often they have these fatico hearings, these sentencing hearings, where a lot of the defense attorneys would want the prosecutors to reveal who their CIs were. Obviously, they didn't want to for safety reasons, but the defense attorneys would cry due process. So they would bring in Kenny McCabe, and Kenny McCabe could recite and provide evidence. Interestingly enough, Duke McCabe, his son, would come with him on some of these drives, sometimes when he would surveil some of these organized crime spots. And he tells the story of when he was a basketball player at Severian High School, and then him and his father, they stop by in the area to the game. They stop by. He takes some pictures. He always had his camera on him, always took notes. And then later, he was able to produce those notes, and you had a defendant say, "I have no idea who this is. I've never been to this club before." And Kenny's not only to authoritatively provide facts and details, but he's got the pictures, and he's unshakable on the stand. So what you have is like this long history, but there's no media. This is the time where you had the rise of the law enforcement press release and press conference, where you had a lot of these deservedly so, like with these law enforcement media personalities. But Kenny eschewed the spotlight. He wasn't involved with that at all. So that's why you don't have a lot of material where you could develop a documentary. You don't. B-roll just gets you so far without having actual any kind of footage, and that's a shame. So I know his son Duke, who was very generous, with his time with me. I wish him the best. He's been, for the last 20 years, he's been putting this together. When he puts together the story on Kenny McCabe, it's going to be it's definitely going to be Hollywood worthy, and I'm looking forward to it. Now, I'm sorry, go ahead, Tim.
I was just going to say, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I think between you and your story with Anthony and between Duke and his story with his father, I got to think there's two movies here, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. I hope so. So now we go back to the 1970s. So where what developed was a genuine friendship, mutual respect in the heat of battle during this very traumatic, transformative time. So Anthony's got this Plymouth Grand Fury with the police kit, and if you're familiar with that make and model, like nothing screams copmobile, like that vehicle. So this after hours, what developed into a couple times a week. Sometimes you had Anthony and Kenny going out to surveil the social clubs across New York City. And anyone who's familiar with the area, even from media now, and I grew up not far from many of these. I grew up in Bensonhurst, Brooklyn. So they were just on every other corner and operating blatantly. They were just integral to the community fabric. So then you had Anthony and Kenny would drive to these, would surveil them, and they would park in the bus stops right outside. They would be very obvious with Kenny McCabe taking pictures. And it's interesting, you mentioned Paul Castellano before. At the start of these kind of night rides that they would do, they were sort of a nuisance. You had organized crime fell after a string of victories. This is when RICO really hadn't been effectively applied. So they were brazen. So then you had this incident where after Veterans and Friends Club was opened up on 86th Street in Brooklyn, so you had this episode where across the street, Kenny and Anthony are parked there. Paul Castellano, godfather of the Gambino crime family himself, crosses the street, and he tells them, he's like, guys, if you're looking for me, you don't have to sit outside. Just come to my table at Ponte Vecchio, and we'll have a nice conversation. So that tells you a lot about slice of life. But then soon afterwards, Castellano had an edict that said no one is supposed to cooperate or talk, definitely not cooperate, but not to even speak with these two lawmen that are a thorn in our side. Right.
And I got to think at some point, and this is just me musing as I'm reading the book and thinking to myself, I got to think at some point Anthony is sitting there in retirement, having a cup of coffee and going, I've interacted with these bits of history, not just thinking this criminal scum or whatever, but there was that point where Paul Castellano walks up to the car, right? There is that point where these notorious criminals, these killers, he's had that face-to-face interaction and he's lived through that, right?
Tim, I have to tell you, I really got a newfound appreciation for like the psyche of these law enforcement officers and what they live through. And it's kind of like it's not. I wouldn't say told they're desensitized because they appreciate the gravity, but when you talk about them, this going back to day one. This project came out of another project. Tommy Dades, famous retired detective who actually introduced me to Carmine for Carmine and 13th Avenue Boys. He brought me into another project, which eventually Anthony was attached, but as a favor. And then there's a common theme. Anthony is always trying to promote and call attention to the other people like Kenny McCabe, like others in the book. And this project was falling apart for some reasons, mostly my own. But I had breakfast with him and his lovely wife, Cindy. And then he's talking about these stories about these other members of law enforcement, but he's got this stack of clips and all these provocative, like there was the Bones case. There was a bunch of really high profile cases that he was involved with. And he's like sort of sharing them like they're very nonchalantly. And I'm just blown away. I'm falling out of my chair. Yeah. Throughout all the times I'm doing the research, he's asking me, do you think this story about the Governor's Island bomb plot where President Reagan visited the island do you think readers would be interested in that? And I'm just blown away. I don't think they really appreciate the gravity or the level of contribution as we do. Yeah. As an author and also a fan of true crime, it's just the series of stories that they're involved with. It's just remarkable.
Well, as you go down the list, it's a hitter's row of mafioso that he's either been involved with or had contact with. You've got Gaspipe in there, you've got Greg Scarpa in there, you've got it's mafioso after mafioso all the way down to the Gotti family, and you're like, this guy has seen it all. He's seen it all.
If it was just the hardcore, like involved in the Gemini crew, engaging on a regular basis with Roy DeMeo. But then there's like these other stories, like in 1979, I believe, right after he went to the Brooklyn Queens residence agency, there was a case. They got a tip about they were going to an organized crime crew was going to take down a Brinks truck from the airport. And one of the perpetrators and one of the planners was this guy, Spanish Eddie Colombani, who had served as a expert on site for the Brinks Job movie that just came out. And he was actually hired to coach up actor Peter Falk. Now, while this movie, I think this is like 6 months after the movie had come out, so it was still in vogue, they're able to move in. So they get the tip, and they have to go to this restaurant in Manhattan called the Boatyard. And now this Colombani is a giant, and he's a former boxer. So it's Anthony and multiple agents responding that just gets into this Manhattan bar brawl to take down this ring. So it's just amazing stories like that.
I tell you what, we'll take our break right here. When we come back, there's a story in the book that absolutely had me laughing, and we'll talk about what an untypical lunch hour is like. There's a story where all the guys get together to have lunch, but they find out that there's a certain lunch spot that they go to that, let's just say, is infiltrated by the other side. We'll talk about that story. And then I want to talk about where you go when you need something moved in a hurry. There's an 800 number that we'll talk about as well. I want to talk about Mr. Finkus here for a second because I found that story incredibly interesting. Just about different partnerships that our agents has formed in time, and that it's funny. You get, like I said before, you can't do anything by yourself. You have to have these partnerships throughout a career in order to make things really move. And Anthony Nelson did this throughout his career, and he had these people that he were lifelong, not just coworkers, but friends, really, that made things move throughout his career. And it's just a wonderful book, folks. We have a link in the description of this program, so you can go get it. Empire City Under Siege: 3 Decades of New York FBI Field Office Manhunts, Murders, and Mafia Wars. Craig McGuire is my guest. When we come back, we'll tell you about lunch with the boys and how sometimes you happen to run into the other side. And we'll also tell you about, I believe it's 1-800-HENRY. Is that the number?
Harvey.
1-800-HARVEY. We'll tell you about Mr. Finkus and how he can move anything for you, except for you can't hire him. Only Anthony Nelson can hire him. When we come back right here on the best in true crime podcasting. This is True Crime Tuesday. Welcome back to the best in true crime podcasting. This is True Crime Tuesday. I'm your host, Tim Dennis. My guest is Craig McGuire. The name of the book, Empire City Under Siege: 3 Decades of New York FBI Field Office Manhunts, Murders, and Mafia Wars. It's oh my gosh, folks, a wonderful book, an amazing book. I don't know how, first of all, you were only able to use 511 pages to get Anthony Nelson's life into that small space, but you managed to do it, Craig, and I applaud you for it. But it is it's an amazingly quick read for that many pages, folks. I mean, you may say 511 pages. No, I tell you, it goes. It just boom, 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 and you get so enthralled with it, folks. This moves. This book moves, and there's so much there, so much rich history there. And I tell you, as a fan of true crime, you're going to be enthralled. You're going to love it. This is an amazing book. So, Craig, again, I tip my cap to you for this book.
Very generous. Thanks, Tim.
Before the break, I had joked that sometimes even lunch isn't safe. Tell us a story about how the boys would get together for lunch, and it's kind of jovial. You sometimes you just got to blow off steam, right? You got to get together and you got to share stories, and I mean, we all do it in one industry or another. Even in broadcasting, we got to get together and we got to bitch about our bosses, right? But there's a story about them getting together for lunch at a certain spot. Why don't you tell that story, Craig?
Yeah, Tim, and I had a massive amount of material to work with. So I tried to select a lot of stories that they're representative of key themes. And one of the key things we really try to get across is like to dispel this myth that there was never cooperation, among different agencies and law enforcement. Now, at this time, the stakes are high, organized crime is at its height. Obviously, you're always going to have tension. There's always going to be conflict, no matter what the walk of life is. But really what the reality was, there was a lot more cooperation. This was the rise of, you were able to have the technology and the maturity among the agencies to have sort of joint task force where you had more collaboration. And I think, if anything, the story of this partnership between Anthony and Kenny really epitomizes the spirit of that collaboration. So, they would, in addition to going on these rides together, they would also meet at this place called Mama Turi's on 86th Street in Brooklyn. And Anthony tells this great story of at one time they go in, Roy DeMeo is actually there holding court with some of his minions. And then you had some other hijackers from another crew on another table. And he walks in with various members of law enforcement to sit down and have lunch. Can you imagine that scene? I mean, obviously, they're even if you didn't know what these guys were, I mean, they're big, strapping law enforcement types, So, the OC guys clear out. And really what develops is like these Thursday lunches where you have these giants in law enforcement. You have Al King from the NYPD, Frank Pergola, legendary Son of Sam, and Gemini, helped solve like 79 cold cases, I believe.
Yeah, wow.
Then you had Ronnie Cadeau, Anthony Nelson. I mean, so then Tommy Dades, who I mentioned before, he was young. He's younger than these guys. And he's saying, I was just cutting my teeth as a detective and they invited me. So you're sitting down at this lunch at this, local Italian place. OC guys have, cleared out, and then you have all these like lions in law enforcement, and they're inviting the young guy in and being very gracious with them, and they're just talking shop. So what develops is this regular pattern. And I have to tell you, there's one of my favorites. I don't want to give away all the stories, but one of my favorite stories is the story where you have Anthony and Kenny are driving, and Ronnie Cadeau's in the back seat. So Ronnie used to have a problem because they would pull over everybody, and they would pull him over for like a busted light, and he would get embarrassed. He's like, "You're pulling over captains and godfathers for a busted light," like. So they're driving down 86th Street one day, and then I assume I'm familiar with the area. I assume it's around 15th Avenue, where there are these large car lots, and as they're parked there, stopped at the light, you could see into the lot, and then you could see into the office. And it's a congregation of a large number of OC guys that they instantly recognize. So they pull right up and they get out. And as they get out, someone in the office screams, "McCabe!" So then they start like rats from a burning ship, sinking ship. They're jumping out of windows, jumping over fences, just fleeing, covering their faces. It's kind of like a scene from Appalachian. And because they know now Kenny's walking slowly with a pad and pen, and he's yelling out their names as he writes them down because he's going to, give them to their PO offices to violate them. Oh my God. And then you have Nelson and Cadeau that are they're hysterical watching this whole only in Brooklyn, only in the 80s kind of scene unfold. So it's like a brief respite, but some really serious situations. Like there's a ton of that stuff in the book.
That's hysterical. Yeah, there is. There's a lot of really funny. I mean, funny, but not funny, but it is funny, funny stuff where, it's such a tight knit community. It really is. I mean, in New York, there's not a lot of places to run. Everybody's stacked on top of everybody else. So chances are you're going to run into people, right? When you go somewhere, right? So it's just funny that sometimes you could be sitting down to eat and you may look across the room and, hey, there's the guy that I'm supposed to be chasing, right? But hey, you got to eat, right?
Yep.
But what do you do, right? What do you do? It makes for some funny situations. It really does.
but they were very particular, about where they ate, about where they socialized, because even though it's interesting and it's humorous, but there was one account where there was a death threat that was on their lives. There were other incidents outside their homes. Like Anthony lived pretty close to the Gemini Lounge. Like there were members of organized crime that lived on his block, that lived on Kenny McCabe's block. So they had to be very mindful. Like there wasn't, organized crime did not target law enforcement for obvious reasons until you had the Joel Kakash, orchestrated killing police officer Doles. But still, it's highly dangerous, kind of area to operate, very stressful.
Yeah, yeah. That you do have. And the reason I had asked about PTSD earlier, and I had brought up the subject of PTSD earlier, is I won't get into the specifics in the book because I want people to read it. It's a powerful chapter. But there is a chapter in the book where Officer Nelson comes across, he's called into a scene where he needs to recover a downed officer. And I won't mention who the officer is, again, because I want people to read the book. But he realizes that this officer's children and his children were just playing together not too long ago. And he has to kind of reconcile that this is, here's this body he's in to recover. Here's this scene he needs to start to break down and figure out what's going on. And he's got to stuff this emotion. And all of a sudden he's got to go from personal experience where he let his guard down and he had this, this as a friend, to all of a sudden, okay, now I'm in business mode. And I don't think you can ever let that go. You can't retire, can you, from this business?
I tell you, Tim, it's interesting you call that out. And I was thinking of another story in the book with similar circumstances where Anthony knew the downed officer. And there was a period in his career where he had been involved in a succession of shootings, of hostage crises that resulted in had tragic results. And you just have to keep moving forward. Like the FBI does, after a certain number of incidents, they do pull you out of action, and he does go through that. But you live with this. You live with these consequences, and it's not only that. It's the trauma that the family feels too. Remember, now we have cell phones, but back then there was no way to notify your wife when you're expected home, and then you have to respond on scene. Like that's just throughout the career, and that's all members of law enforcement have to deal with that, and that damages relationships. Mm-hmm. And I don't think there's enough that's said about that. Also, when you think about a lot of the crimes that Anthony covered were very traumatic. So you had the FBI responds. Usually, when law enforcement calls in the FBI, it's a very serious case. But then you also have the FBI is responsible for responding to all major crimes that take place on federal facilities. So you have this vast network of VA hospitals throughout New York, and usually when they have their own police forces. So when the FBI is called in for a hostage crisis, that's called in for a murder, there's like gut-wrenching story after story in the book about what Anthony had to see on a regular basis. And then also I interview members of his squad like Jason Randazzo, and he has these really heart-wrenching stories about the service members who return home, or the families of service members that are at Fort Hamilton or at one of the VA hospitals, and they're just so damaged, and then it just explodes into a hostage crisis or some other kind of calamity, and they're responsible for responding and dealing with it, often with these sort of now primitive tools. But like Anthony says, you can't miss what you don't have.
Yeah.
So.
Craig,
just really tough stuff.
You had mentioned that the Mafia had this loose code about going after officers in their homes or whatever. But I gotta wonder, and this kind of hits me a little bit as I read the book, and as we go into later years and later into Anthony's career, you realize that civilization gets more violent and it gets a little more animalistic. Let's call it what it is, right? And that moral code loosens, not necessarily with the mafia, but everybody else. And he lives through eventually what becomes a hit on an officer. Then it becomes, let's face it, 9/11, which is a hit on society. It's a hit on American society. In that time that we go through this progression where moral codes loosen, does he ever think to himself, you know what? How long is it going to be before society turns its attention on my family and I get attacked in my own home? Did he ever say anything like that to you?
We spoke about that because there were some incidents, and it was more about the trauma and the impact on the family, and the fact that you have to be private. You as a member in law enforcement, your family cannot regularly go out to certain places to eat. You cannot engage in society, and then often you're away. So the kind of impact on his wife, because he's never around for certain family events, and thankfully they have a really strong family network. A lot of members of law enforcement don't have them. One of the things that he really calls out, and it's like the nuances here, is as a member of law enforcement, especially at that level, when you're responding to these crimes that are unfolding that could have dramatic consequences. You're operating on imperfect information. You may have to make a split-second decision that could result in the death of a child or the death of an innocent, and you will have to live with that. And that's not a once-in-a-career kind of thing. That's a regular occurrence. And then as I interview other members of law enforcement, it's this kind of like resignation where they reflect on really traumatic crimes, and obviously the victims families are impatient, they're frustrated, they want results or they want closure, and law enforcement often bears the brunt of that. And unfortunately, far less frequent are when there is some sort of resolution. There's not a thank you. There's not a appreciate or like an understanding of like the challenges that law enforcement are going through. And it's such a hard job. So Anthony would reflect that, like, that's not taken into context now. When you see nowadays where police officers and investigators, they're maligned, they're treated with one broad brush, which is unfair. And Anthony's, he's if anything, pragmatic, realistic, and he'll say, just like anything, there's always room for improvement. Yeah. But that's missing the whole. It's missing the whole story. And honestly, law enforcement agencies are constantly trying to evolve, trying to innovate. They do have standard cycles where they're re-examining policies. There's some really good work that's done on that, just looking at the mechanisms of law enforcement, and I think that's just totally ignored. So I think it's a travesty for how law enforcement is treated in this country.
Yeah, absolutely. It's unfortunate, because it seems like our society has become more the doubting Thomas now than it has become a celebratory society when something's done right. When good in our community steps up and does good work, we don't step up and say, you know what, congratulations, and do the pat on the back. We go, okay, that's great, but what have you done for me lately? It's automatically the doubting Thomas. There's no, you know what, hey, good job. There's no celebrating what's good in the community. It's, well, you did something good now, but remember when you screwed up, 2 times ago. Yes. There's no. It's a negative connotation all the time, and there's no encouragement there, which there really should be encouragement, especially with the people who are protecting our six all the time.
Yes.
That should be the norm and the standard. It shouldn't be an occasional thing by society. That's for sure. I teased earlier before the break, there was it takes an entire team. It's not just one person who goes out there and fights crime and manages to get it all done. And throughout the book, you do a wonderful job, Craig, of pointing out the different people who help out Al King and different people who come to the aid of Anthony and help in different situations. There's a certain number that 1-800-HARVEY that Anthony has to call on occasions when he needs things moved. And there's some amazing cases in here where Anthony comes into the weirdest situations. But this guy, Harvey Finkus, has to move things on occasion. Tell me, what's the story behind Harvey? How does he get involved with the FBI? And why does he have to move the most unusual things in the most unusual amounts at the most unusual times of night?
I have to tell you, interviewing Harvey Pinkus was just such a privilege and a joy. He's one of those quintessential New York characters. Just an amazing backstory. So Harvey's family owns Model Garage, which was a small family-owned automobile shop in Sunset Park, Brooklyn, like right by Greenwood Cemetery. Now it covers two city blocks. It's a massive facility, but back then Harvey went into the service. When he came back, he went to work with his father, always trying to find ways to grow the business. So then one day, law enforcement is hard work. It's a lot of tedium. It's a lot of investigative work, but it's also a lot of logistics. It's also a lot of dealing with how do you deal with the crime scenes? How do you respond to the crashes? How do you deal with the aftermath and the wreckage and the dig sites and all that? So Harvey got a call from the FBI to there was I believe there was a lease that was expiring, and they had to relocate like a full building full of automobiles that were all in states of disrepair. So what Harvey and they're all in disbelief. They have to get it out, or else they're going to face like some sort of city fine, and so they're in total disbelief. So Harvey's like, I'll get the job done, and he knocks the ball out of the park. So what develops over time is like this reputation. The toughest of the tough jobs, you give them to Harvey. So he calls him. They say call 1-800-HARVEY. So it's not actually a telephone number. it's just a concept that the hardest stuff, 1-800-HARVEY. Just go to Harvey. Now Anthony's head of the hijacking squad, leading the hijacking squad. So often he has to respond to crime scenes and he needs that logistical help. So he develops this strong relationship with Anthony. There's this one scene. I think he's with Buddy Bernane, another famous member of NYPD, and then a FBI agent, just a giant. So they have a site scouted out, and they really have to clear out this massive amount of stolen goods within a short amount of time. So really what Harvey does, he sets up this sort of relay where he has his trucks go in, pick it up, and then bring it to another location, and then get it stored in his warehouse, and establishes this really strong relationship with Anthony. There's a really provocative story in there where there was a suicide. I believe it was a suicide in a VA hospital parking lot. So Anthony's on site and he's doing the investigation. Then he calls Harvey. I need you to come, pick up the car. And then Anthony's investigating the bodies there, and then Harvey's just like, he's just stunned. He's like, how long are you going to keep doing this? Like, yeah. So it's that kind of like slice of life there. And there's some even more. There's one scene that just blew me away with Harvey that's in the book that I'm reluctant to share it on podcast because it is that graphic. And then there's also in the middle of the night in Mill Basin, there's like half a $2 million UPS hijack load is parked in front of this guy's house, and it's a known OC guy. And if you know Mill Basin, it's kind of like it's an area in Brooklyn that has a lot of cul-de-sacs and dead ends, and where it's like you go in, you go out. It's very sort of clandestine, and there's huge organized crime presence. So they have to go in there posing as another hijacking crew to rip off this truck, and with Harvey. So Harvey does it, and then they have the multiple follow units, and it's pretty dramatic. And they're able to recover because they don't want to just take recover the goods,
right?
Because then if you do, you want to see how they react, who they run to, what they do, so you're able to take down the ring. So, and they were able to escape Mill Basin with the load with Harvey. But it's just 1-800-Harvey. He's just an amazing character, and he should have his own Netflix series, if you ask me.
He should. And he really became his little angel, right? Is his angel on his shoulder.
Yeah, and you to the point where you have these dig sites, like with these mafia graveyards, where, remember, this is like pretty dramatic stuff. Like, you're recovering bodies, cold cases that have been for years and years. There's a certain way to handle that, where you can't just get a man with a van kind of crew to come down and start digging up the dirt. I mean, you have to be very respectful with recovering the remains of people, and just Cole Harvey, and he was always able to deliver in these like really logistically complex situations. It's just a pleasure to speak with Harvey.
He even had a working knowledge of Potter's Field, which is interesting. Right?
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, we've talked about Potter's Field before on this show, but Potter's Field has a dark history.
Yeah, and still in operation, because that did come up in the book in a couple of areas.
Yeah. It's hard to believe that in this day and age, a Potter's Field like that like Potter's Field still exists, but it does.
Yeah, and not only that, as you go through Anthony has stories about responding to certain facilities, like I mentioned earlier, like Governor's Island, like the VA. So you start to get this history of New York City and the area and Potter's Field. And it's like these archaic, sort of facilities and networks are still in operation.
Yeah. It's an interesting place, I tell you. New York City is just, it's got this draw, right? It's one of these cities that I think, although we put this shine on it, and to us it's the the city that never sleeps. It's the Big Apple. We put all these monikers on it, and we want to romanticize it. Man, it's got this underbelly to it that draws us too. The underbelly does. It's that too is romanticized, I think.
That's why I was really drawn to this project, because of like the depth and breadth of the type of crimes that Anthony covered. I've heard about many of these. I grew up not only as a true crime fan, but just as a resident of New York City. When he was in for example, when he was moved into after he retired from the FBI, he moved into the Brooklyn district attorney's office as an investigator. And one of the crimes he covered was the Bones case. And I remember that because that unfolded within blocks of my home, where you had, these nefarious funeral home managers who would take the remains that they were entrusted by loved ones, and they would sell them, as and they would sell them for other surgeries, and in many instances these remains were tainted. You had cases where they had infected with HIV, and then he was selling them, supposedly licensed, and selling them as these were, clean biological material. So that whole case unfolded. So when Anthony's asking me, do you think readers would be interested in this type of story? And I'm just blown away, because it's like an insider view into how this really despicable crime unfolded. And I remember, he has such a nice a trove of pictures. We shared some of the pictures many are too graphic to share.
Yep.
And then there's like clip after clip from Jerry Capisci, who I grew up reading in Gangland and such a fan. And these are stories about crimes that Anthony investigated and brought to bear. So it's pretty interesting.
It is. It's. I think more than interesting. I think it's fascinating. It's again. This is one of those books that's going to rivet you from beginning to end. And I think, again, folks, all we can do at this point is just direct you to the link and have you go read the book and go experience it for yourself, because it's really one of those books that's living history, right? And it's told from the view of someone there who was going out there and getting it done, prosecuting it, going in and getting these criminals and living the history itself. And all I can say is just, man, talk about it, the history of a real hero. Right, is essentially what it is. It's something.
Yes, and Anthony's the last one who called himself a hero, even though he has so many commendations, and everyone speaks just so highly of him. But he really, I'll tell you, Tim, the working title of this book was "In the Company of Courage." And really, that's the way to look at it from Anthony's perspective. Especially he was laser focused on, and you'll see in the book we have as we cover certain cases and crimes. I do an extra effort to give a little bit more of the biographical information behind some of these heroes, and especially he very intensely wanted to make sure we focused on Kenny McCabe, mm-hmm. and just what a major contribution he made, as well as many of the other folks that we interviewed.
Yeah, and you do a wonderful job of that, and getting everyone involved who played their part in cleaning up a lot of these amazing cases. And man, think about and this is the other thing that hit me too, Craig, as we start to wrap up here. Think about where New York City would have been had these amazing men not been around.
Tim, one thing that really, and this is like a personal affront, because I grew up in these areas, like this myth that the mafia kept the streets safe, while in fact they were just flooding our communities with drugs, mm-hmm. That were, if they were extorting all businesses. There's always this sort of this hidden tax that all businesses have to bear, whether it's through corruption, the unions, or at the street level, where you have some of these OC guys coming in, taking advantage of you or your neighbor. And it's just despicable work, just the value that law enforcement brings to bear on that. Yep. Then you look at, there's a lot of stuff that we grew up in that you don't realize nowadays, just car theft. Car theft was out of control. Tag jobs. You had chop shops all over the city. It was credit card crime, and how easy. And I touched on this because in the Carmine book, he was a big credit card fraud guy. Yep. Just rampant credit card fraud. All of these things result in higher costs, less opportunity. It's just a plague on society. So, Tim, you're spot on. Just the ability of law enforcement to protect us, defend us, but it's never over and it never stops. And they keep doing it, and organized crime and criminals in general continue to evolve. So it's just a running war.
That's true. When you cut the head off one snake, another one pops up. So it's a constant battle. It's a constant game. But thank God that we have people that come up in each generation that want to fight it. So,
yes, sir.
That's right. Empire City Under Siege, 3 decades of New York FBI field office manhunts, murders, and Mafia Wars is available right now. And we have a link in the description of this program, so you can go get this wonderful book. Craig McGuire with Anthony John Nelson. Craig, I want to thank you so much for being on the program today.
Tim, you're the best. Love the show. I just wanted to add, there's something special going on at Wild Blue Press. If you enjoy true crime and these types of book and these types of material, we have a whole library there. So I encourage you to check out wildbluepress.com. A lot of exciting things going on with Empire City Under Siege. A lot of things coming up, and you can find all our stuff there. And Tim, just appreciate you helping us getting the word out.
Appreciate you, my friend, and good luck with the book. And again, folks, go get this book. Go get this book, and we'll link directly to Wild Blue Press. You can check out everything that Craig's talking about. And again, and also check out Craig's book, Carmine and the 13th Avenue Boys, because that one, again, amazing book. So, all right, folks, let's lighten things up a little bit. Let's bring in Travis Thorpe. It's time now for Dumb Crimes and Stupid Criminals.
It's Crayon News story time.
What happened with this dude, Christ Bearer? I heard he cut his penis off and then jumped off a balcony.
Suspect pulls gun from butt, shoots twice at Denver police.
What is your emergency?
I need help.
And what's the problem?
I'm too high.
You're too high?
Yeah.
It's the time again, the time you've all been looking forward to. It's time now for Dumb Crimes and Stupid Criminals. And with that, I need someone to sit in with me. Notice I didn't say co-hostess. That's because our co-hostesses are off today. But instead, I bring back the one, the only, the one that you've all been raving for, the one that you've all been clamoring for, the one that you can't get enough of, ladies and gentlemen. It's time now for us to bow our heads and present them. For it's time for our forehead smoochies. It's time now for us to bow before the one, the only, the combat rev himself, Travis Thorpe.
Well, forehead smoochies to the entire Darkness Radio family. Mwah.
How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing well, Tim.
Good. Thank you for filling in, by the way.
Hey, no worries.
It's good to have you back. It's good to have you back.
It's always good to be back.
What update everybody real quick? Besides the multitudes of entertaining videos that come out from day to day, which some of them I don't understand at all, but I still get a kick out of, and most of them I do. Which I still don't understand the fascination with Dr. Pepper and now hot dogs, but I'll glom onto it sooner or later. But what's going on besides the entertaining videos?
Well, I mean, not much, right? I'm a very boring person. I just have no character traits whatsoever. So I have to fill all my time with AI videos and just flood the internet with Sora and, just try to add to the filth of the world. As far as Dr. Pepper, it's a bit of a kind of an inside joke within the Vet Talk TikTok world and universe, with all the veterans that their favorite drinks usually have some kind of spirit to it. And I, not being one of those persons, like to make fun of them for being raging day drinkers all the time. And I always tell them that, oh, yes, I will crack open an ice cold Dr. Pepper with you. And they always get a kick out of it. So I decided I was just going to throw Dr. Pepper in as the holy sacrament of the Church of Combat Rev. So
I see. Well, it's very funny. And the whole intermission with the go out to the concession stand and get yourself an ice cold Dr. Pepper and a hot dog. It's very funny. And the fact that it happens just at the opportune time in the video is very funny as well. So
yeah, I've now decided it's a way of making like another almost like watermark trademark stamp that it's a Combat Rev official video if there's a concession stand piece in there.
So yet another thing to look forward to, right? That and the vampire ladies keep making their cameos, which is fun.
Hey, it's wishful thinking. I mean, what do they always say? Manifest, through the law of attraction. Mm-hmm. So I'm just trying to attract some hot goth mommy baddies.
Hot goth mommy baddies, which
I just want to be turned.
that'd be a hell of a band name, wouldn't it? Hot goth mommy baddies.
Goth mommy baddies.
Now there's an idea for a video. You're welcome. I'll be looking for that one here probably Wednesday, I guess. I'm not sure.
We'll go ahead and release it on Wednesday morning. We'll have him do a shout out to the Darkness Radio Army.
The hot goth mommy baddies video. It could be like a Robert Palmer type deal, the addicted to love thing. Yeah. Oh boy, do we have stories today. We're going to talk about a man who tried to pay with something with not currency, but another something. We'll talk about that today. Our not safe for work section is plentiful this week. Again, last week we had a bit of a drought. I think because of Thanksgiving. I think bellies were full and crimes were not plentiful, but we're back to being pervs in society, so that's good to see. I'm glad we could get back to our pervy ways. Thank you, Florida. I don't know why they had decided to take the week off, but it's just the way it is, Rev. You know what I mean?
Much needed.
That's right. One man has decided to tell the cops that they need to have a warrant in an unusual way. And we'll tell you what that way is today. You might want to adopt it at your own home. Yeah. A woman's been found guilty of, I don't remember. I don't think you were my co-host at the time we talked about this, but did you ever hear the ChatGPT rape hoax?
No.
Okay. We'll talk about that as well today. So that's coming up today as well. And much, much more. But first, let's talk about the man who decided to roll up on the bank and pay in an unusual currency. Let's first show you his pic here, Travis. There he is. I want to ask you, first of all, how do you think this man decided to he made a deposit at the bank? He drove up to the bank. He, how you use the little drive-up window at the bank, and you use a little pneumatic tube. You throw a little thing in the outside, whatever you call that little machine, and then you watch it go up the pneumatic tube and then into the bank, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you suppose he put in there besides money and ID?
I'm going to channel my inner scumbag, and I'm going to go with either feces, urine, or semen.
Wow. Now, we're not in not safe for work territory yet. Yeah, easy there, Tiger. I mean, roll it, roll it back a little bit, rein it in. Yeah.
Spit.
You're just automatically hitting the long ball today. You're not shagging flies here. We ease into that. We hit a few fungos first, and then we start swinging for the fence. Yeah. You got to ease into that here, right? Yeah. Well, that's the literally an unexpected deposit. There is what you're talking about. That's a big time deposit. No. This man decided he wanted to keep something safe at the bank. So what he did there, Rev, is he took his meth and he put it in the pneumatic tube. And he said, "Here, Mr. Bank, keep this safe for me." Because after all, we're starting off today. Well, you would say, in Florida, right, Tim? No, in Ohio, the other state where they're crazy about meth.
Yeah. I mean, almost every state is now.
Well, yeah. Almost every state is cuckoo for meth. But an Ohio man was recently arrested for sending a baggie of methamphetamine through a bank's drive-through pneumatic tube system. That, according to a law enforcement official in the Buckeye State, 46-year-old Jason G. Smith, who should know better, was booked on drug-related charges earlier this week, according to the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. The underlying incident occurred on December 3rd, according to a press release issued by the Sheriff's Office, at a bank in Woodsfield, a small town located some 120 miles due east of Columbus. On the day in question, a bank employee called deputies to report finding a crystal-like substance consistent with methamphetamine in a baggie that had accompanied a transaction sent through one of the bank's air tubes. How do you count that out if you're a bank teller, Dion? You know, first you're doing the cash, and then you go, meth, and do you hold it up to the light and decide how much it's worth?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of curious if they just told him like, "Thank you, sir. Have a great day," and then like, "Yeah, we'll keep this safe for you."
Yeah, sure, it'll be here when you get back. You know, does he have a safe deposit box there? Do they think that maybe we'll just put it in there for you?
I'm curious if it's FDIC insured.
That's a very good question. Subsequent testing determined the substance in the small bag was, in fact, methamphetamine. That, according to law enforcement. Over the course of the ensuing investigation, authorities determined the defendant had inadvertently sent the package to the bank through the drive-thru while completing an otherwise routine banking transaction. So he didn't do it on purpose. It was like, whoa, like he, you know, like it got away, like out of
wild.
It's kind of like he was visiting Kansas and it went through the tornado into Oz.
I mean, I feel like that's him trying to save face. Because, I mean, it's been a while since I've used one of those tube systems, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. But I'm pretty sure you have to put everything in the canister first.
Yeah.
Set it there and then go, yep, that's everything I wanted. Send.
Right. Yeah. Unless, you know, maybe he was a little high and he acted, you know, and he was juggling a lot of things at one time and he put the canister in and then he had the meth in one hand, the canister in the other, and he used both hands and he dropped the meth in and went, oh, shoot, as it was closing. And then they both went up at the same time.
Just a trail of meth dust going through. Can
you just see if the baggie exploded and you just saw, poof, just like smoke?
Look, Mommy, it's a fairy.
A fairy blew up in the tube, Mommy. Do we have to have a funeral now? Later, Smith was located in nearby Wayne Township by officers with the state's Department of Natural Resources, evidently because of the dead fairy. Yeah, that's why you need the DNR out there. After the defendant was detained, deputies were called, and with the use of a police dog, they recovered additional suspected drugs and drug-related items from Smith's truck. The defendant was then transported to the Monroe County Jail. As of now, the defendant's specific charges have not been made available on the Monroe County court system's public docket. Law and Crime reached out to Monroe County Sheriff's Office for additional details on the story, but to no response. Probably because, you know, the Sheriff's Department was like, well, what do we get this guy for? You know, pitching meth?
Illegal deposit of methamphetamine.
Uninsured methamphetamine. Yeah. Illegal. This is what the Monroe County Sheriff Derek Norman said in a statement. Illegal drugs don't belong in bank drive-thrus. Under DUH 101, I think is how they filed this. But they can be turned in at the sheriff's office, he says. Yeah, I'm sure you'll have a line formed out the door for this, right?
We have an amnesty box right up at the front. Don't worry.
Yeah. It's kind of like going to confession at church. You just walk right in and just drop your drugs in the box and say 5 Hail Marys and 4 Our Fathers, and then you're out, right?
Yeah, no questions asked.
Yeah. He says, no charges, no handcuffs, just help. We'd much rather safely take them off the street than see other unexpected deposits. You buy that line at all?
I mean, maybe. I mean, if that is the mindset of the sheriff and they're like, hey, we actually have an amnesty box, go drop it off right there because we'd much rather have that than it getting loose out there. I mean, maybe, but I don't see any drug task force detective or even officer worth their salt that's going to let that go.
Yeah.
And not want to at least ask questions of where did you get that from?
Yeah. I somehow, I don't see any self-respecting person who doesn't have the slightest bit of curiosity in their system, even if they're innocent, walking into a police department with a handful of drugs and can you hear me now? Oh, I can't hear you either. Hold on a second here. Let me mark the time.
Oh, now I got you.
All right, 14:30. Okay, sometimes we just have to keep rolling during that's let's see here. 14:30. Okay. All right. 3, 2, 1. And I can't say that I see any self-respecting citizen walking into your local police department either that isn't questioning, the local constable about whether they're, even if they're innocent, saying, oh, thanks for the drugs, we appreciate that, and then letting them go. And not maybe making them stay overnight until they know the full story.
Or maybe we should give the local law enforcement a hand here and reassure everybody that, yes, your local sheriff's department would love for you to drop your drugs and narcotics and other illegal and illicit activities off at the police department and or sheriff's department. And they will hand out hugs and a little Pikachu doll. And also, they will write a letter of recommendation to Santa Claus that you have been a good person.
If they really want drugs, they'll hand out Labubus. I'm just saying. Yeah. Labubu for meth, I think, would be a popular program. You know what else would be a popular program? Turn yourself in. Labubu for choking. Choking crimes, I think, would be a huge one in Florida. That's our next story. This man right here evidently has a rage problem when he gets into the Home Depot. I know we all mainly have a huge problem when we get to Home Depot, but it mainly has to do with the people who work there because they won't help you. But this man, I think, had a problem with someone actually at an actual what's the word I'm trying to use here, Trav?
Like an employee?
Not an employee, but a customer, if I remember right. Let me read the story here and I'll get to it. We're going to Marathon, Florida. Sheriff's deputies arrested a Marathon man on Thursday after accusing him of using an umbrella as a weapon during a dispute that began at a Home Depot parking lot and ended inside the store. It was a battle royal that went from the outside to the inside.
Outstanding.
Yeah, right? Normally you got to start from the inside and go out, but he took it inside, which... That's a new one.
My money's on it had everything to do with the parking spot.
I probably, yeah. This man is old enough to know better, but still too young to care. I don't remember how that goes. 66-year-old Ramon Rodriguez is accused of choking a 54-year-old man with the umbrella at the home improvement chain store on Overseas Highway. According to a Monroe County Sheriff's Office arrest report, the victim told deputies that Rodriguez nearly hit him with his truck as he exited the store just before 8:15 a.m. So it was bright and early. And yes, it was over a verbal dispute, and I'm guessing it was over a parking spot.
That's amazing.
Isn't that wonderful? 8:15 in the morning. Because, when you're a senior, you don't have time to not fight, right? That's
all you got is time on your hands for fisticuffs.
Yeah. If you're going to get your fisticuffs in, do it early. Get your exercise in early because that early bird dinner waits for no one. So
he probably just went to Home Depot with all this rage from a honey-do list that he's been nagged about for a week.
Right. Yeah, he's got a long list of stuff. He's like, I don't want to repair the doorknob. I'll show you a doorknob. The report states that the victim told deputies that he had pushed a shopping cart into Rodriguez's truck. Investigators said the confrontation continued inside the store between the self-checkout stations. Ooh, that's a good place to rumble. I don't know if you got a lot of potential weapons there you can grab.
Yeah. You got 20-ounce bottles. You got gum.
Well, not only that, but I mean, you've got a lot of little things, you can grab. I mean, there's Home Depot's very good about stocking a little bit of heavier items that you can pick up, kind of use like a brass knucks type deal.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be using the laser self-checkout, scan gun and just start blinding them.
Yeah, blinding them. Right. See? Yeah. See, Deputies said Rodriguez grabbed an umbrella, one of those things, see, upon entering the store and used it to perform a rear naked choke, which is a Brazilian jiu-jitsu move on the victim, which prevented him from breathing temporarily. That's what I'm talking about. See, they got all kinds of things near the front.
It's beautiful. I mean, I'm Team Rodriguez. This guy deserved it. He threw a shopping cart into his truck and didn't say sorry.
That's right. Home Depot staff intervened and separated both parties. MCSO Deputy James Metzger wrote, Ramon then left the store and turned to his construction site. The man is still working. That's why he's still working at 66. Deputies said Rodriguez later spoke to them over the phone and returned to Home Depot, where he was arrested on the charge of aggravated battery with a deadly weapon. As of Friday afternoon, Rodriguez remained at MCSO's Key West jail facility with no listed bond. I tell you, though, if he would have took it to the back of the store, there's a lot of heavy lumber. He could have done some damage.
Yeah, I'm laughing about the with a deadly weapon. I mean, an umbrella.
It was the way he used it.
In the way it was used, yeah, I guess, but come on, it wasn't a hammer. It wasn't a circle saw.
Yeah, right. But he got that rear naked choke locked in with that umbrella.
Yeah.
And you know who really loved it was Rihanna. That umbrella, Ella, AA. She loved it.
Oh, do not trust the intrusive thoughts right now. No combat rev, no references to Chris Brown. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Oh, no.
Oh, okay. Whew, I won. All right.
We'll move on so that you don't bring those bad memories up. We'll go to Volusia. That's what we'll do. Volusia County, Florida. We're going to stay in Florida for this next story. Now, do you have an interesting welcome mat at your house? Do you have anything with any funny sayings or anything like that?
No. My family doesn't trust me enough to let me do that.
No.
They have boring vanilla welcome mats, and if I was in charge of it, yes, it would be wild and crazy. I'd have like Claymore landmines set up out there.
Wow.
I'd have like maybe like a supernatural demon trap or something as the rug, but yeah, no.
Ours is real simple. It's the welcome mat is Prince, and it says, if you didn't come to party, don't bother knocking on my door.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, you party animal.
Yeah. How do you like that for a welcome mat, huh? And every politician and solicitor that comes to our door goes, I really like your mat. By the way, would you vote for me? And it's like, no! Slam the door. Right? Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, because it's kind of the heel turn there at the end. Yeah, I like it. So, yeah. Because then they think you're in a party mood and they're like, they'll listen to me. No, that's when we turn heel and slam the door in your face.
Yeah, I would like to get some of those like fake Claymore landmines and put them on the back sides of the columns facing the door and then run wire going to the doorbell.
Oh yeah. Yeah. just do I ring it? Ooh, I could lose a finger or a hand here.
Yeah. There's no way my family would let me.
No, probably not. No. Well, this guy is all right. I think when you go to ring this guy's doorbell, you know what you're getting. You know the kind of guy you're getting. You know who's coming to the door. Police said, quote, we came back with a warrant. Mm-hmm. Fallujah deputies arrested a fake real estate investor by the name of Christopher Music. That's his last name, Musick. Music. He's 57 years old. He faces charges of forgery and grand theft. Let me explain to you why they came back with a warrant. We're going to Daytona Beach, where a Daytona Beach man was arrested last week as part of a large-scale mortgage fraud scheme out of Volusia County, according to the sheriff's office. In a release, deputies said that the man, identified as a fake real estate investor, Christopher Music, would create fake documents to pose as the owner of several different business properties. Now, he'd get mortgages against those properties, use the money to buy them, or buy more of them rather, rent them out, pocket the money, and never pay off his loans, the release read. All right. Investigators also showed that Music had a mat by his door, and it had this phrase, Travis: "Come back with a warrant." Right?
Yep.
Well, deputy said, "We came back with a warrant." They're very good at following directions there in Volusia County. Jail records reveal that Music was ultimately taken into custody on November 25th. Happy Thanksgiving, Mr. Music. He now faces charges of organized scheme to defraud and theft over $100,000 and forgery. His total bond amounts to $225,000. Music also has 10 prior felony convictions and 2 outstanding warrants out of Maryland.
Wow.
Yeah. Can you say Rico? I believe we can. After interviewing Music, a VSO Financial Crimes Unit detective established probable cause to execute a search warrant at his residence, thereby satisfying the doormat's request. The release concluded. So, yeah, they got a warrant.
That is beautiful. I wonder what those warrants were out of. Like what they were for out of state.
Well, the warrant that they issued was for them, for Volusia County, to get the local fraud.
Yeah.
But
the ones that they were saying that he had the outstanding ones, like I wonder if it's for the exact same thing.
Oh, it is. Yes. Financial.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah.
He's done this before out of Maryland. So, yeah. All right. We're going to go to a lesser crime now, but it's I don't know how you feel about Cybertrucks. Have we talked about that before?
No, I mean, possibly, but maybe like offline, we might have talked about them before. Yeah. Let's see what happens. What's going on with Cybertrucks?
Let's see what happens. Well, I have an interesting story here out of St. Pete. We're going to St. Petersburg, where a man was arrested after stealing a Cybertruck during a test drive. It just so happened along the way he caused $20,000 in damages.
Oh,
yeah. Well, you got to make sure that it's the vehicle for you when you're testing it out. Some people like to stomp hard on the brakes or really give it the gas. Other people like to run into stuff. It's just the way you test a vehicle, right?
Yeah. He's trying to see if it's killdozer worthy.
Yes. Yeah, that's what it is. On November 19th, an assistant manager at the Tesla dealership found a stolen Cybertruck. Oh, God. Let me go backwards here. A St. Petersburg man is accused of stealing a Tesla Cybertruck while on a test drive and causing approximately $20,000 in damages to the vehicle, according to the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office. According to the criminal affidavit on November 17th, 26-year-old Richie Valdivia agreed to test drive a 2025 Tesla Cybertruck for 30 minutes from the dealership. He did $20,000 in damage in 30 minutes? You can't deliver a pizza in that time.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it depends on what he damaged. Because some things are really expensive.
Let's find out. The report says Valdivia never returned the vehicle, instead keeping it for approximately 2 days. Now, that makes a little bit of sense. Here we go. On November 19th, an assistant manager at the Tesla dealership found the stolen Cybertruck at Valdivia's home. The vehicle had been seriously damaged, and the dealer tag had been removed. Oh, so he wanted to keep it permanently. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The damage included a smashed rear-view mirror, a missing GPS monitor, and a detached sun visor on the driver's side. The front fender flares had been partially torn off. Small rocks and a pair of men's underwear were found inside the flares. Trying to figure out how that happens.
Oh God, I wish I could have Total Recall right now. What was it Anchorman? Where you had something in the boys. Where the homeless guy was constantly in the car.
Well, there's good news here for you, Travis, if you're ready for this next tidbit in the story. PCSO says the assistant manager was able to get the video footage from the Cybertruck because Cybertrucks have cameras all the way around.
Everywhere, yeah.
Which showed that Valdivia was striking the rearview mirror multiple times, destroying the rearview camera and shattering the mirror's glass. Valdivia was arrested and faces charges of grand theft of a motor vehicle and criminal mischief. I wonder if they have the footage of how the underwear got where it got.
I'd imagine they probably do.
That's what I want to see.
Yeah. Dirty Mike and the boys. That's what it was.
Dirty Mike and the boys. I just wonder what goes through people's heads. That's what I want to know.
Probably playing some Grand Theft Auto on the Xbox, and going, bro, you know what? I got a good idea. I want me a Cybertruck, but I ain't got money to pay for it.
I'm going to do this in real life.
Help me get Dirty Mike and the boys. Go get this.
Some people's children.
I got to pay for it somehow. I got to start my OnlyFans in the Cybertruck.
I got to start my OnlyFans. I'm going to pose on the Cybertruck. That'll be my first photo shoot. Okay, now here. Now that you said that, now I got to do it to you. Are you ready?
Uh-oh. Yep.
Okay. This, by the way, is the guy who you're going to pay $5.99 a month to see.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
You guys like to watch me eat cheesecake?
Yeah, you watch me eat cheesecake? Is that what you said? Or watch my cheesecake? I didn't catch which one you said.
Yeah, I'm gonna eat some tiramisu on camera today. You guys go watch that. That's how we playing for the Cybertruck.
Oh.
Every time you guys send a like, my jowls just move.
You guys want to watch my buddy Buff eat Jello off my belly? We're not even in not safe for work territory yet.
What are you doing, Tim? You're so naughty.
The poor kids at home have just been exposed to that. They're sitting around. They just got done watching Bluey, and now they're hearing about Bluey's here on the program, and they shouldn't be, Travis. They shouldn't be.
Hey, I did say cheesecake.
Yeah, you did say cheesecake. It's making me hungry. Speaking of, let's talk more about food, shall we?
Yes.
All right. Let's go to our next story. Let's talk about one Zoe Rosenberg, who is an animal rights activist, and she doesn't believe that we should be eating chicken. As a matter of fact, she's a chicken stealing activist.
I think I saw something on Facebook this morning about that.
Yeah. She got 90 days in jail.
Not enough.
Not enough for stealing them chickens. Animal activist Zoe Rosenberg stole 4 chickens from a California slaughterhouse. She tried to do the right thing, Travis. In her eyes. Yeah.
Tried to release those delicious, delectable little chickens.
That's right. She was like, be free, just kind of throw them up in the air and let them. It was like the Les Nessman thing, letting the turkeys out of the helicopter. As God is my witness, I didn't know they couldn't fly. But yeah, she didn't know that they couldn't run to the other side of the road and be free.
She was expecting this Free Willy moment.
Yeah, where they would
arc over her head.
Yeah, they would just jump over her head and run away and live free in the forest somewhere. I don't know what she was thinking, but
be free, noble chicken.
Noble Chicken. That's a great band name too. Noble Chicken. Yeah.
Yes.
An animal rights activist who could have faced years in prison for stealing chickens from a California slaughterhouse was sentenced to 90 days in jail on Wednesday. Zoe Rosenberg, who's all of 23 years old, bless her heart. Yeah. Had been convicted on charges including felony conspiracy and trespassing in October. She was ordered to report to the Sonoma County Jail next week, though the DA's office says 60 of the 90 days can be jail alternatives, including house arrest. Oh, she gets to spend 60 of those days at home watching Bluey.
In her own little chicken coop.
In her own little chicken coop. Be free, Bluey! She was also ordered to pay, oh my gosh, you ready for this? Do you know how much time you get for trying to set 4 chickens free? Or how much of a fine that is?
Well, let's see. 90 days confinement. Let's go $20,000.
Higher.
Wow.
This is California.
Oh, yeah.
Think about it. You've just broken into a slaughterhouse.
225,000.
Go a little lower. Let's not get crazy.
86,000.
You're close. $102,548.09.
I would suck at the prices, right?
And she has to pay that out to Petaluma Poultry. The company has said it will donate the restitution to a food bank. And guess what they're having that day for dinner?
Chiggy nuggies.
Yeah, you bet. All day long with extra gravy.
Mm-hmm. I got the noble chicken.
I got the noble chicken. I got the one that tried to get away. A California activist who took 4 chickens from a slaughterhouse has been convicted of trespassing and conspiracy. Zoe Rosenberg has admitted to removing the birds from Petaluma Poultry in Sonoma County last year, but described her actions as an animal rescue, not a crime. You know when you need help? You know who you call? The Ghostbusters team. That's who you call. Despite her defense, a local jury found her guilty, and Rosenberg now faces a potential sentence of more than 5 years behind bars. But nope, it's not. It's just 90 days with 60 days of it, potentially watching TV at home. The incident occurred late one night in June of 2023 when Rosenberg and other members of her animal rights group, Direct Action Everywhere, they call themselves, even though it's Direct Action Everywhere, they call themselves DXE because they're rebels, Dottie. DXE.
She's old enough to vote. That's scary.
Yep. They entered the facility disguised as workers. Ooh, they had a plan. Look at that. They encountered a truck loaded with thousands of chickens, took 4 of them, and later released video footage of the act. Oh, that is so terroristic.
Yeah.
Do you think they did the anonymous thing where they disguise their voices? We have your chickens.
But why just 4? If they came up on a truck with the mission of liberating chickens, and they went through all this effort to disguise themselves as employees and everything, they had a whole giant truck full of them, and they only released 4.
We have the phenomenal 4. In order to get them back, you have to pay us $500,000.
They liberated the only royal.
That's right.
chickens in the bunch.
We have the chickens of the royal bloodline.
We have General Clucky.
We have the main breeders.
We have Colonel Sanders' son.
We stole the succulent ones. Only you can get them back.
Oh, man.
Petaluma Poultry is a supplier for Purdue Farms, by the way, which is a major player in the U.S. poultry industry. Purdue Farms, when asked how much would you pay to get them back, you couldn't stop their laughing on the phone. Eventually, they had to hang up after half an hour. They're like, are you kidding me? What? 4 chickens? That was it? 4 chickens? By the way, Rosenberg's legal team didn't dispute the facts of the case, but argued it was about motivation, not theft. They said Rosenberg was driven by desire to save the animals from what she saw as inhumane treatment. I'm glad they took that angle, by the way.
You know what? Plot twist.
What's that?
The 4 chickens that were liberated are going to break her out of jail.
Oh, look at remix. And then you see the video. And then you just see the
They're
little,
dressed as Department of Corrections officers.
yeah.
I had to make a Sora video about that now.
The chicken's breaking little Zoe Rosenberg out of her house, so she can't watch TV Land all day. But I was in the middle of a Golden Girls.
Oh, thanks, noble chickens, but I'm good.
Really? No, I was in the middle of drinking chamomile tea and watching Golden Girls. Sonoma County, by the way, spent over 6 weeks and hundreds of thousands of taxpayer dollars to protect a multi-billion-dollar corporation from the rescue of 4 chickens worth less than $25, said Rosenberg's attorney, Chris Caraway.
Yeah.
He thought it was egregious for them to go after her.
Well, I mean, that's his opinion. My opinion is she should get at least, I don't know, 10 years.
10
because
years.
that could have been chicky nuggies for my kids.
That's right.
That could have been a McDonald's Happy Meal right there. All right. And my kids aren't very happy not being able to eat their noble chickens.
That's right.
Deprived happiness from thousands of potential kids.
That's right.
I'm going to have an army of angry chickens showing up in my house tomorrow.
Dressed up in fatigues and doing maneuvers in your front yard.
They're not going to be able to get in because they don't have a warrant.
That's right. You're going to have that little mat on the front step. I'm going to hate it when one of them steps on a landmine and is missing a wing. Our next story is quite the unusual one. Do you take the sane lanes here in the Twin Cities? You know,
the sane lanes?
Yeah, you know, the express lanes.
Oh no, I typically don't. I drive like a grandma, all nice and safe.
Do you? Okay. Evidently, this particular person in Australia is not only a big fan of the sane lanes, but likes to skirt the tolls, as a matter of fact, likes to dodge the tolls, and has an unusual way of doing it. But eventually got caught. A toll dodger used a 007 gadget to outsmart cops until he didn't. Want to find out how?
I already have thoughts in my head.
Do you?
But I'm not gonna bury the lead.
Okay. All right.
I'm gonna behave.
All right, then. Police seized a plate hiding device from a modified blue Lexus GS after spotting the illegal toll evading setup. Oh, I just buried the lead. Look at me. The guy drives a Lexus. I think I stated that. But he was caught using a remote-controlled stealth plate curtain device. Police also seized the illegal setup and issued the 9 demerit points while doing so. And by the way, viral toll dodging stunt, and that stunt ended with a fine and confiscated gadgets in the meantime. Some drivers will go to surprising lengths to dodge tolls. I know in some cities it's pretty bad. Here in the Twin Cities, it's not that bad. Right. But it can get pretty bad. But one particularly elaborate attempt has now landed its architect in hot water. Back in August, a motorist in Australia captured something sneaky on his dash cam as he passed under a toll gantry alongside a bright blue Lexus GS. He noticed something wasn't quite right. The Lexus's license plate appeared blank. Oh, that's a no-no. As he was commenting about how dodgy it was, the real plate number revealed itself, as if it had never been covered. Now, police have caught up with the driver and laid down the law. Oh, so he must have had something where it just slid.
There is multiple devices like this, and that's exactly where my brain was, and I figured that's exactly what's happening. So there are devices out there that have flippers, right?
Oh, okay.
Where like it's literally a switch, and it will flip, and some of them will go like a triangle. We'll do multiple license plates in a triangle.
Oh,
right?
That's crazy.
The most cool one I've ever seen is electronic, where it's like a screen almost, right?
Uh-huh.
So that same kind of technology they'll use in like those fancy restrooms at like super fancy clubs or restaurants and whatnot that almost have like glass, but then you hit a button and then you can't see through it.
Yeah.
They'll have the same thing, and it's almost like a plastic now, right?
Huh.
That will go over the license plate like a regular license plate cover. So it will look normal until you hit a button. And as soon as you do that, it's blank.
Whoa.
There's nothing there.
Interesting. Police in New South Wales say the driver was a 22-year-old who had used a stealth plate curtain, much like Travis was talking about, to dodge tolls. That viral video shared by Dashcam Owners Australia was reportedly just one of several occasions where the James Bond-style gadget came into play. The distinctively bright blue, heavily modified GS wasn't exactly hard to spot or identify either. Police say they stopped the car in Stanmore after spotting the same setup installed on both the front and rear plates. The setup featured a motorized blackout curtain, much like Travis just talked about, wired through the car's electronics and controlled from a module in the center console. That sounds kind of cool, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. At the press of a button, the driver could cover his plates entirely, bypassing the usual surveillance. Authorities seized the equipment immediately during the stop. From there, the excuses began. According to the Traffic and Highway Patrol Command, the driver claimed the system was installed because he had no other way to mount the plates and needed to cover imperfections in his bright blue vinyl wrap. Unsurprisingly, officers weren't buying any of it. They issued an infringement notice to the driver along with a hefty fine. On top of that, the violation incurred 9 demerit points on his license. As reported by car experts, the most points anyone in Australia can accumulate before losing a license is 15. So he got 9 out of the 15 for that one. Oh, man. Depending on what type of license this driver has, it's possible he's reached the limit with just this one infraction. Fancy spy-like gadgets are cool, but knowing when and where to use them can be the difference between some fun and some fines. Interesting stuff. I could show you a quick little picture of what this little Lexus looks like. And this is essentially his car with the blanked out license. It's kind of interesting. So,
yep.
Yeah.
He definitely, I mean, I'm not saying he knows how to make meth, but he definitely knows where it is.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure he knows where to get all the party drugs. That's for sure. Yeah. All right, it's time now for our Not Safe for Work section of our program. Not that we haven't dabbled today, but I'm sure we've dabbled a little, right? With some of our stories. But we're jumping full in with both feet right now. So in order to do so, we're going to need you to take the kids and, put on some cartoons or put on Nickelodeon at least, or just earmuffs, kids. And then for your boss, go put on some cartoons for him as well, and maybe some earmuffs for him as well. And we'll do this in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Now, earlier in the program, I had told you there was an update on the ChatGPT rape hoax. We had covered this story a few weeks ago. And I said, this is the end of AI, pretty much. We're done. We're done as a society with AI. And Travis is like, oh, no, what about my Sora? The reason why I say this is because a few weeks ago, a Florida woman gave police an AI-generated photo of a homeless man who purportedly barged into her residence and raped her, and said, this is the man right here. It turned out he never existed. It was a slop photo. And police were smart enough to notice that this was a slop photo and then turn around and arrested her. Brought her in.
As they should, yeah.
Yeah. She's been convicted of falsely reporting a crime, a sham prompted by a TikTok challenge and her desire for attention. 32-year-old Brooke Chenault pleaded no contest to the hoax and was adjudged guilty of the misdemeanor. She was fined and placed on probation. So she got probation for the entire deal.
That's wild.
Yeah.
No jail time.
No jail time, just probation. In October, Chenault called 911 to report that a male intruder forced his way into her St. Petersburg apartment and committed the sexual assault while her infant slept in another room. Chenault claimed to have taken a picture, and this is the picture right here. This to me looks fake. I can see where a cop would see it and go, I don't think so. Right?
Yeah, I mean, the guy's just going to sit on your couch.
Yeah, here, let me move this so you can see it a little bit better. But yeah, he's just sitting on the couch. But he's just kind of sitting on the couch, and he's got his hood on, and he's got his hands folded like this. Mm-hmm. He's just sitting there all calm. So Chenault claimed to have taken a picture of the man while he sat on the sofa. Police provided the smoking gun with the photo in response to a public records request. The reported burglary battery prompted a police response that included 7 officers, a detective, 6 rescue personnel, and a forensic technician who gathered DNA samples. They called out the whole kit and caboodle over this deal. Right? I mean, they took it very seriously. That was the deal.
Yes, they would. Yeah.
Right. Chenault's story fell apart when Detective Dagny Closser examined a photo of the purported subject, a hoodie-wearing white male in his 30s. As I am familiar with many social media sites and friends, I recognize the male as a TikTok challenge that is viral, Closser reported. The AI Homeless Man Challenge, Closser noted, involved the uploading of a residential photo to an AI application, which then inserts a photo of a homeless man into the image. Most place the subject on their couch and then screenshot the results and send to loved ones in a prank that places concern that an unknown subject is in their home, said Closser, who reported finding several TikTok reels of this challenge that used the same photo of the homeless man. Confronted by police, Chenault initially claimed that she only used AI to sharpen a blurry photo of her attacker. She eventually confessed, saying that she was dealing with depression, was not sleeping, and wanted attention. The hoax image, Chenault said, was made by using Google and ChatGPT to create the photo, cops reported. Brooke typed a homeless man. I think she did a little bit more than that.
Yeah. If she ruins AI for me, I'm going to be pretty upset. I'm going to be very upset.
That's her picture right there. So
how is she not getting attention?
She's getting attention now.
God, fucking narcissist.
Yeah. She's getting it now. Well, that's one way to get attention. I got another way for people to get attention. Are you ready for this? What's the biggest thing you've ever swallowed?
Well, Tim, at Fort Benning, Georgia, 2003, the drill sergeant, while we were sleeping in our bunks, said, "Wake up, Private, you're a fire guard." That was the first time that I ever encountered what they affectionately known as the green weenie.
Boy, I'm glad we're not safe for work. Well, you know what? Did the green weenie look anything like this?
Oh, this is a very ornate freaking egg.
Yeah.
Let me guess, somebody's trying to smuggle.
You got that right. Our next story, cops recover a $19,000 Fabergé pendant that a guy swallowed. But there's only one way to rock, kid.
It's got to go all the way out, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Couldn't opt for surgery?
Well, that's the extreme way. If it doesn't, pass, they have to eventually go in and get it that way. But an egg locket successfully passed through the suspect's gastrointestinal tract. Yay! Who gets a treat?
Who's the unlucky son of a bitch that's got it?
Who gets a Go-Gurt?
Oh, could you imagine showing up to work? They're like, "Hey, this guy finally passed it. You got to go in and go get it."
Yeah. By the way, bring a jewelry cloth with you. You're gonna need it.
You got some dude wipes?
Dude wipes and a jewelry cloth. You're gonna be there a while. The pricey Fabergé egg pendant, allegedly swallowed by a New Zealand man, has now... just thinking of the different food you have to eat there in New Zealand. Has now been recovered. According to authorities, police have been monitoring the suspect's every bowel movement. Crikey! Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's Australia.
Yeah. Close enough.
Close enough. Crikey, look at that one. And apparently they eventually struck gold. Literally. Authorities tell the BBC the pendant was recovered in a natural fashion. So do you think, is there a guy there with a catcher's mitt doing a Johnny Bench thing where he's kind of,
You see, what we do here is we put on the latex glove, right? And we started out with what's known affectionately as the duck.
The duck. Talk to the puppet.
We get the duck in there. But you go start with one finger.
Feed the puppet. Feed the puppet. No, that's not right. They said medical intervention was not required, although I'm sure the guy wishes it would have. A New Zealand man is facing theft charges after allegedly swallowing a Fabergé pendant worth more than $19,000 at an Auckland jewelry store. Do you think this guy wasn't thinking straight when he did this?
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't hungry. That's for sure.
Police say the 32-year-old suspect walked into Partridge Jewelers on Friday, picked up the luxury item, a Fabergé 007 special edition Octopussy egg surprise locket. That's what it is.
Well, ladies, he eats pussy.
It was fashioned after the movie, you know. And then he gulped it down. So, you know, he took it all in one swallow.
He's not a spitter.
He's not a spitter. Officers arrived within minutes and arrested him at the scene, but the pendant has yet to be recovered. The pendant in question is crafted from 18-karat yellow gold, adorned with green galoche enamel, and set with 60 white diamonds. Oh, that had to hurt coming out. And 15 blue sapphires.
I hope everything came out intact.
Right? The pendant, by the way, is a nod to the 1983 James Bond film Octopussy, in which the famous 007 agent swaps out a Fabergé during an auction. Did you see that movie?
I'm sure a long time ago.
Believe it or not, in one of the more awkward moments of my father's life, I requested to go see that movie at the 100 Twin Drive-In along with a Superman movie. I think it was Superman 3 that came out. Wasn't it Superman 3 that came out that year?
Yeah, I don't know.
It was either, I think it was it 2 or 3 no, it was 3, I think, that came out that year. So I was like, Dad, I want to go see Superman and Octopussy. He's like, shut up. Don't say that in front of your mother. Yeah, but
I think the first Bond movie I watched was GoldenEye, and then had to watch a lot of the older ones later in my years. But like GoldenEye is really where I started with.
Yeah. See,
yeah, Pierce Brosnan.
I'm of the odd age where Roger Moore was my first Bond.
No, Sean Connery.
No, he was not my first Bond. No, Roger Moore was. So in that 1983 film, in fact, Never Say Never Again was really the first time I kind of glommed onto Connery. Then I went back and watched the Connery movies. I was never interested in watching Connery as Bond. I always wanted to see Roger Moore as Bond. I did it backwards. Yeah.
Yeah, we have a bunch of them on DVD here. And, we could have a little watch party.
Yeah, we could do a little watch party. Sure. Yeah. In this movie, I just can't stop saying it. Octopussy, it's fun. It's a fun word. Because you know what they're talking about. They're talking about the cephalopod.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
absolutely.
Yeah.
And my snuffleupagus.
Yeah. Right. So the famous agent swaps out a Fabergé during an auction. The locket contains a miniature 18-karat gold octopus inside, complete with black diamond eyes. In addition to the Fabergé incident, the man is also accused of stealing an iPad from the same jewelry store. The thief in this story, not in the movie in 1983. That would have been just weird fortune telling. Yeah. There was no such thing as an iPad in 1983. He did that earlier in November. as well as cat litter and flea treatment valued at about $65 from a private residence the following day. The suspect has been remanded into custody and is scheduled to appear in district court on Monday.
You know, if he would have just stopped at eating pussy and not gotten the iPad, he would have probably gotten away with it. You know,
probably.
He would have been like, oh, that's pretty cool. Where the hell did it go? But he ran off with the iPad. They had physical evidence right then and there. He could have pulled the magic trick. Oh, where did you go? No.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yep. Yeah. See? Yeah.
Got greedy. He got greedy.
He did get greedy, did he? All right. I'm going to ask you here, Travis, what do you think this woman right here is guilty of?
Stealing my heart.
Oh, you're close. I bet you she could. I bet you I could get her to do it after a couple of drinks.
Oh, is she shooting ping pong balls out of body parts?
Maybe. Let's find out, shall we? She looks pained. This woman, we're going to Ocala, Florida, by the way. This woman exposed herself on an Ocala sidewalk while drinking liquor, according to police. Now we're getting into it.
My favorite flavor.
A 37-year-old woman was arrested in Ocala after a police officer allegedly saw her walking on a sidewalk with no pants on. We call that Action Jackson in the business.
Stupid pants world.
That's right. On Sunday, November 16th, an Ocala Police Department officer was in a parked patrol vehicle, much to his surprise, near the 2900 block of E Highway 40 when a woman was observed walking on the sidewalk. The officer noted in the arrest report that the woman's underwear was around her knees, exposing her buttock and vagina area. That's an odd way to be walking around. How do you get steps in when your underwear is around your ankles? You know? The woman was later identified as Kendra Ann Jones. The report further stated that Jones was actively drinking from a liquor bottle that was wrapped in a plastic bag because stereotypes. Right? The officer made contact with Jones and seized the 375 milliliter bottle of Flashpoint, the finer drink of half-naked women everywhere. Observing that approximately 75% of the liquid inside had already been consumed because, you know, underwear around your ankles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's then when she revealed to the officers that she was doing it for a TikTok challenge.
That's right. Is there a homeless man around here somewhere? When the officer attempted to speak with Jones, she allegedly became combative. There's a shock, and she was detained in handcuffs around her ankles. Not kidding. Jones was placed under arrest and booked into the Marion County Jail, where she remains in custody. Her bond was set at how much, Travis? Let's play the Price is Right again for half naked and drunk in public in Ocala, Florida.
$580 is what she paid, I'm going to guess. So $5,800.
Very close.
Yeah?
Not you're,
really?
You're very close, but you're a little high.
Oh, okay. All right.
Let's take one more stab.
$5,600.
Little lower.
Oh, $5,100.
You're almost there, my friend. $5,000.
Next time I'm just going to say one.
One. She's facing the following charges: exposure of sexual organs and public consumption in violation of a city ordinance. Now, if it were public consumption of sexual organs, by gosh, that's a different crime altogether.
Legend states that she's already started a relationship with the guy in jail for swallowing pussy.
Octopussy.
Octopussy. Yes.
Marion County Court records show that Jones is being represented by a public defender. She has entered a written plea of not guilty. How do you plead not guilty? You were half naked on the street, drinking liquor. How do you say I'm not guilty?
It was all about intent, right? You know, it's kind of like freeing chickens.
You were caught red-bottomed. She's scheduled to appear in court on Tuesday, January 20th, 2026. Rumor has it she'll have to show up the exact same way she was found.
Can't they just AI photo her in there?
I'm sure, yes. I'm sure they can. All right. Just a few more stories here today on Dumb Crime, Stupid Criminals. It doesn't get any easier, kids. If you tuned in for just the not safe for work, you'll be pleased. If you tuned in for lighter fare, you're screwed. Here we go. We're going to Baltimore County, where this fireman puts things out a different way. Yes, it's just what you think. A Baltimore County fire employee allegedly masturbated in public spaces at multiple firehouses.
Oh, he was totally in the army.
He was totally in the army.
Tell me you're a veteran without telling me you're a veteran.
Allegations that people only describe as disgusting and nauseating are coming out of the Baltimore County Fire Department. The situation has now sparked a police investigation, raising major public health concerns. A Baltimore County fire employee is being investigated for inappropriate behavior at work. A source tells WMAR2 News. This comes after the employee allegedly made videos of masturbating in public areas at multiple firehouses in the county. Councilman David Marks said firefighters and paramedics told him of the situation a few days ago. They obviously are very concerned about their own public health and safety, Marks said. I've been on the council for 15 years. This is probably the most disturbing series of allegations I've ever heard. In a letter obtained by WMAR2 News, Baltimore County Fire Chief Joseph Dixon, that's his name, don't wear it out, says the county's health officer and experts told him even if the allegations are substantiated, the risk to employees is minimal to none. Even so, fire department employees are encouraged to get tested at the employee health center. They've initiated hazmat cleaning of all career stations and fire department offices in the public safety building. How would you like to be the person working at their desk? You know, here comes a guy in a hazmat suit. Oh, what are you doing here? I'm just cleaning up jizz. Don't mind me.
I'm just the jizz police.
I'm the jizz cleaner. Just go about your business. Oh, really? Who was in here? Fire guy, fire department. He was in here earlier. Well, where was he? Oh, he's over there at your desk. I'll be over there in a minute. Yeah.
Chances are, he was actually just asked by their union to come up with fresh new ideas and how to spice up the fireman calendar, Oh
God. He's like, I know, I'll get the pages to stick together.
Yeah. And maybe, the ire of this is really that this fucking city councilman, his wife got caught subscribing to this fireman's fucking OnlyFans. And now the city council member's taking it out because he feels fucking, so little of a man. So not compared to Mr. Firefighter. Oh, I'll show you, Mr. Firefighter, make a naughty bits of my wife feel good. And that's all we're watching right now.
Wow.
Just rage.
Wow.
Rage of a little man.
Wow.
I support the firemen here.
I see. By the way, in case you're wondering where this guy was, there's a list.
Oh my God.
You ready for this?
All right, we'll see if it compares to mine. All right, let's go.
This guy was just a rabid dog. Are you ready for this? High-touch surfaces, door handles, push plates, light switches, etc. Bathroom and all fixtures, water fountains, kitchen surfaces, sinks, appliances inside and out, bunk rooms, beds and furnitures, lockers inside and out, floors, deep cleaning and sanitizing using germicidal products, several vehicles, including QRT and MH1 and 2, and will undergo professional cleaning and sanitation.
Okay, I mean, I hit 9 of those.
They're also working to replace all station ice machines in response to the allegations. So somewhere in there, he had to cool down.
That's great. I support you, King.
3 stations' ice machines have already been replaced at the time of publication. 3 of them, Travis.
Oh, that's horrible.
That sick fuck. 3 ice machines.
I think they're just taking it overboard and using it as an excuse to get all this new shit.
Yeah, well, no. And you just you know how expensive an ice machine is? Do you know how reluctant most municipalities are to replace an ice machine? This guy stuck his junk in 3 ice machines.
He did it in the Chiefs car too. Oh, guess I need that new 2026 Ford F-150. He cummed on the center console.
Councilman Julian Jones says he did it in his office. He needs a new office. He also told WMAR2 that from his over 30 years of experience in the Anne Arundel County Fire Department, hearing of this is a disturbing first.
Yeah, he should have seen it.
Are you ready for his quote, though?
Yeah.
Don't laugh. Not until I finish. That's what she said. I rose from the bottom to the top in Anne Arundel County, and I've never heard of anything like this. Get it? I rose from the bottom to the top. I think he was the bottom in this case. And I've dealt with more personnel issues and problems than you can imagine, and nothing as bizarre and grotesque as this. Both councilmen say while they have talked officially as a council on these allegations, I almost said negotiations, try to talk him down off the ledge, they've reached out to County Executive Kathy Klausmeyer in terms of next steps. Klausmeyer released a statement on this saying, I am aware of these disturbing allegations and want to make clear that the health, safety, and well-being of our employees in Baltimore County is our top priority. My administration is working closely with Baltimore County Fire Department and union leadership at IAFF Local 1311 to ensure that the team has the resources and support they need as the investigation continues, blah, 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 blah. Make sure to wear a condom. I don't know what that means. And then right underneath this entire story are 2 of the cutest AI puppies you've ever seen in your life. So I don't know what. Oh,
but
look at that.
Also came on that. So
yeah, he also, yes. And
ruined.
The reason why they look quizzical and almost violated is because they've read the story as well and are looking out for that guy, because I'm sure that he's about to come in their faces. So they're there.
Rumor has it he also came on Tim's iPad, and so now Tim needs a new one too.
I need a new iPad because so Anne Arundel County, if you could send me a new iPad, I'd appreciate it. Your fireman spooched all over my iPad and my computer.
Their fireman calendar has got to be off the fucking hook. Just top tier.
This has got to be the grossest, most explicit dumb crime, stupid criminals I've ever done.
You can watch it at Cornhub.
Cornhole Hub. What kind of sick spider monkey freak do you got to be to just start yanking it everywhere?
That's what I'm saying. He's got to be a veteran.
Why would you say that? And by the way, thank you for your service, sir.
Yeah, you've never spent an ounce of time in the infantry, I can tell you.
And you're right about that. But
trust me, you can find some time in a porta-john in 138 degree weather, being roasted alive, smelling nothing but a roasted aroma of hundreds of people's shit, and yet still managed to rub one out while looking at Chuck Norris jokes.
Chuck Norris jokes. Well, I find that highly sexual.
Oh my God. Yes. Thank me for my service.
Thank you for your service. Or cervix. Speaking of, we get into another disgusting story. We might as well jump right into it. Let's just jump right into it and get through this. Let's man up and get through this, shall we? Thank me for my service.
Yes.
We go to the Florida Keys, where 3 are arrested after deputies say they were caught having sex in the Winn-Dixie parking lot in the Florida Keys. Again, 3 more infantrymen, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm hoping.
You're hoping. Do these 3 look like they might have been in the service?
Yeah. At least the one in the middle for sure. The one on the left, she was probably in the Marine Corps or the Navy.
Oh, my God. We're going to Marathon, Florida. And that's what they tried to do, have a marathon there in the parking lot of the Winn-Dixie. 3 people were arrested after authorities in the Florida Keys say they were found having sex while heavily intoxicated in a Winn-Dixie parking lot in the middle of the day. You know what that is? That's a goddamn country song. That's what that is.
Dirty Mike and the boys.
Dirty Mike and the boys. 103.3, the marathon. Let's play the latest from Kenny Chesney. This one's called Having Sex in the Winn-Dixie Parking Lot in the Middle of the Day While Intoxicated, right here on the Winn-Dixie.
I lost my job, but she gave me a job.
Oh, my God. It is a country song, you know.
I used to be a firefighter. I'm in Winn-Dixie. Oh.
Here's another one on 103.3. The Winn-Dixie, spreading the love in the firehouse.
Did they do it in a Cybertruck?
Yes, they did in the Cybertruck. By the way, deputies were called to the grocery store lot around 12 p.m. on Saturday when everyone's doing their shopping. Guess where these 3 were? Meat department, where they found all 3 individuals engaged in sexual acts, hopefully with each other. Hopefully it wasn't a free-for-all. It wasn't like a contest to see, who would get off first.
Just dicks and mouths everywhere.
It was Caligula everywhere, except for nobody was touching each other. And then you just hear in the background, dun, 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 dun.
It looked like a pugil stick match.
Oh, we're having too much fun today. All right. All 3 were taken to jail. 45-year-old Sharon Helen Chaplinsky, who sounds like she probably grew up in Chicago, of Marathon, was charged with unlawful exposure of sexual organs to disorderly intoxication and resisting without violence. Thank you, Jesus. Deputies say it was her 2nd arrest for similar public conduct in 3 months.
Jeez. Bless her heart.
There's a reason her name is Sharon. You know what I mean?
Real American heroes. This one goes out to you, Sharon.
Sharon.
When you can't take a trip to Paris, but you can get Eiffel Towered.
Real American heroes.
Oh, God, I'm actually crying, Tim. Oh.
43-year-old Marshall Adam Lowry of Key Largo was charged with committing unnatural and lascivious acts and disorderly intoxication.
What the fuck is unnatural in Florida? Were they using potato peelers? Like, what the fuck?
I think he probably took one of those frozen lizards and shoved it up his ass.
Jesus Christ. It's Florida, for Christ's sake. What the fuck is unnatural there?
The frozen lizard falls down and he goes, well, this one will do. and just right up the old 5-hole.
Just jumping each other's testicles with car batteries. Like, what the fuck?
I surely found something. Okay. I have to do this next name in this next voice. 59 Michael McDonald Howard. Michael McDonald Howard. He sounds a lot like this.
Oh my
Michael
God.
McDonald Howard. You don't think
Totally over my head.
from the Doobie Brothers, Michael McDonald. Shine sweet freedom, shine a light on me. Yeah, Michael McDonald Howard.
Yeah, way over my head. I mean,
Really?
it was an Insane Clown Posse. I don't.
If he wasn't an insane clown posse, I don't know him. Anyways, he was charged with unlawful exposure of sexual organs and disorderly conduct. He was the vanilla guy in the threesome. He was the guy holding the camera.
Oh man.
Yeah. That's all I got for that. He was the guy singing them into unnatural acts. All right, we're closing out today's Dumb Crime Stupid Criminals with a pair of PP Pal stories.
PP Pals?
Yeah, PP Pal stories.
Oh God, this is our new fucking group chat name, isn't it?
PP Pals, yes, it is.
Me, you, Scotty Roberts, and Rocky. PP Pals.
That's right, PP Pals. Yay. We'll start off in, I believe this is in Japan. A 91-year-old man was urinating on the street and arrested for threatening a police officer.
Okay, that sounds like a Tuesday.
That's our first PP Pal. We go to Hokkaido, where a 91-year-old man was arrested on suspicion of threatening a police officer and obstruction of justice after the officer saw him urinating on the street and questioned him in Muroran, Hokkaido. According to police, the officer on patrol saw the man urinating on the street just after 3 p.m. on a Monday when the officer asked the man to show some identification. Where's he going to whip it out of his ass? Where does the identification come from? The man became angry. I don't blame him. Threatened the officer, saying he would knock him out and then kick the police car.
I would have just turned around midstream and just kept peeing. Like, yeah, officer, here, hold on a second.
Here's my ID. Take it off the DNA off my stream.
Do you want my signature?
You want my signature? Police said the man may also be arrested for public indecency. And that's the first story of our PP Pals. The second story of our PP Pals. Doesn't that sound like a neat new cartoon on the Playboy channel? By the way, our second PP Pal, I'll show you a picture of our PP Pal here. This is our second PP Pal right here.
That's the second PP Pal.
Yeah.
Please tell me it doesn't have a pee-pee. Because if it does, I might have to check myself.
No, it doesn't have a. It does. It's listen to me. It doesn't. No, she doesn't have a pee-pee per se. I mean, she has a pee-pee. We all have a pee-pee per se, but.
Because she got me feeling a certain way, Tim.
I'm sure she does. Her name is Kinky Kelly, and she's headed to jail for a pee spree. The 24-year-old, go ahead and say it, OnlyFans model.
Oh!
Is getting 6 months for her vile antics. We reported on Kinky Kelly not too long ago. She's a New Hampshire woman who will spend 6 months behind bars for criminal mischief, in which she filmed herself urinating on food at a supermarket and on various items at a Marriott hotel.
Do I have the husband for her? There's this firefighter
who's in Baltimore County. They seem to love to sprinkle. They could do it together. 24-year-old Kelly Tedford pleaded guilty to 6 Class A misdemeanors in connection with her vile antics earlier this year in Keene, which is a city in Cheshire County. Tedford was sentenced to 360 days in jail, but a judge suspended half of that custodial term. She will be required to serve 180 days in the Cheshire County lockup, after which she will be placed on probation for 2 years. Additionally, Tedford was ordered to pay, you ready for this? $10,520.59 in restitution to the Monadnock Food Co-op, which is where she decided to sprinkle everything.
Well, first off, I know a lady that frees some chickens that should be getting that kind of a sentence.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. They should be playing a little bit of flipperoo. All right. Because while she's at home locked up, she can still make income. or him come.
In him come. Yes. So Tedford's going to pay that $10,500 to the Monadnock Food Co-op for contaminating grocery items and forcing the business to discard inventory and sanitize its shelves.
Yeah. And to that end, yeah, I agree. That's pretty fucking gross, right? Like, don't do that to other people's food, right? Nobody asked for that.
Right. Tadford will also have to pay $500 to the Marriott, where she relieved herself on a Bible, comforter, blanket, curtains, and air conditioner unit. I'm surprised she didn't get a chargeback on that when she went for the air conditioner unit.
Yeah.
She went naughty on the bitch. She also defecated on the floor and placed the waste into a toilet tank.
I don't think I like her anymore. Maybe.
I don't like her anymore. Is that
maybe?
Did she do the manual upper decker then? Is that what she did?
I mean, I don't know.
Normally, if
like the Steve.
Is that what?
It's just the Steve, right? Like every guy named Steve probably shit on a floor somewhere.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. But the upper decker, to do a true upper decker, you just remove the top off the tank and then you go on the top of the tank. That's the upper decker. You don't go on the floor, scoop it up, and then put it. That's not a true upper decker.
Yeah. No.
You don't get credit.
She's too young. She just doesn't know.
Yeah, that's true. She's too young.
Yeah.
She needs to be schooled and that sort of thing. You don't know the proper prank in that deal. Yeah.
Right.
Judge has barred Tedford from returning to either business and has ordered her to continue with all mental health counseling. Well, that's probably a solid move there, Judge.
What mental health issues does she have?
I don't know. When you take out an entire grocery store by sprinkling it? And I don't know, shitting on the floor of the Marriott? No, nothing. She's fine. She's a functioning member of society.
She could totally get a job as a firefighter, though.
Yeah, she could. Well, she could put out most of the grocery store if it were on fire. Detectives believe that Tedford's pee spree was recorded for subscribers to her $15 a month OnlyFans page.
Oh, God, please tell me that she at least made enough money to make it worth it.
By the way, her OnlyFans page has been deleted ever since.
Oh,
yeah. Tedford's Kinky Kelly page described her as a submissive pixie, fetish kink friendly, extremes too. Her account also offered custom content and paid sexting sessions.
Well, thankfully, the internet is forever.
It's a Tedford's OnlyFans account noted that her prior page, Petite Princess, got banned. Explicit videos of Tedford remain online. Thank you, Satan. Including one clip showing her urinating on new garments in a clothing store changing room.
She is a fucking deviant.
She is, yeah. She hasn't seen anything in this lifetime that she won't piss on, I think.
Well, I retract my earlier statements, Tim. She needs to be locked up for 28 years.
Yeah. She needs 20 to 30 in a women's prison, I think. That's what she needs. All right. We definitely need a palate cleanser after that series of stories. And I have the perfect one.
Is it hazmat certified?
I don't know. See, because I'm throwing a heel move in today because I knew I had you on the program. And I know you, sir. I know for a fact that you love a good heel move.
I do.
So here we go. I'm going to put something in y'all's heads that's going to make you go, oh. You like ordering from DoorDash?
Yeah, from time to time. Yeah.
Yeah. You like a good DoorDash, right? You have a favorite wing place?
Yeah. Was it BBQ chicken? It's a Korean barbecue.
Okay.
Very expensive. Very good.
Very expensive. Very good. I like how you put that.
Yeah.
I want you to put that place in your mind for a minute. Think of the taste.
I will. The cheese one. Oh,
yeah.
Amazing. Oh, dude, I'm a fatty. Dude, I could eat like an entire extra large pizza and like 4 of these chickens will make you full. Like, it's the best.
Okay.
Tim, it's the best.
You got
that. Say that. Okay, I got it. I'm there.
The
tasting it.
Taste is on the taste buds. The pictures in your mind.
Yum. Oh, all that MSG.
I want you. I want you to think of that DoorDash delivery driver. He's got it. He's got it in his hand. He's walking up the sidewalk to your door.
Yeah, it's coming up to the door.
Yep. All right.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to read this headline. You ready?
Okay. Read it to me, Daddy.
DoorDash driver drops chicken wing on concrete, puts it back in the box, and then licks his finger in gross caught on camera scene. And you thought you get a clean delivery every time he brings your chicken.
He licked his fingers.
So what else did he do to your food before it got there?
But that's all right. I've eaten shittier crap.
We call this the old party foul. A DoorDash driver was caught shoving a stray chicken wing back into a takeout container after it plopped onto the concrete, then licking the sauce off his fingers as he sauntered away, all without warning the customers. That's right. This did happen in Florida, but it might have happened in a neighborhood near you as well.
Bum, bum, bum.
The disgusted Florida customer, Trina Brown, shared the damning Ring camera footage with WJXT shortly after their delivery horror story at their Orange Park home on Sunday. I'm going to show you a picture of this guy bending over and then licking his fingers. And look at that. Isn't that disgusting?
you know what? It's stacked nice and neat. There was probably just a little bit of extra sauce that got around on his finger. And instead of wiping it on his pants, like a fucking man, he licked that shit off. I ain't mad about it. You know, everything's in the fucking container. That I ain't mad about it at all. Dude, I've eaten lemon poppy seed fucking, you know, pound cakes that dropped into the sand and had fire ants all over it. I ain't afraid of a DoorDash germ.
Okay, but what if earlier in the night, he was delivering another order and he dropped it, and then he like licked his fingers, and then now he's delivering your chicken and he dropped your chicken, and then he put it back in the box and he licked his fingers.
The real question was he at a grocery store inside of a Cybertruck licking a chicken earlier?
Yeah, maybe he was licking old Sicky Nicky, you know, on his lunch break.
But I mean, like,
and then, you know,
those kind of things can happen inside of the restaurant too, as they're bagging it up and boxing it up. And even if you went there to go pick it up yourself, I mean, I don't know. Like, everybody's going to be out there scrubbing their hands with lava soap every 3 fucking seconds. I don't know. It doesn't bother me. I mean, I got kids, you know, like my kids don't eat their food. And it's just like, okay, that looks good. And they're nasty little creatures. Snot all over their face and shit.
The driver stooped over, placed the lid back on, but a single wing and some sauce were splattered all over the concrete doorstep. He then shoved the wing back inside. He tried to kick away the scuff of sauce with his shoe. From there, the driver ambles away while licking a dollop of sauce off his fingers, according to the video.
Oh, okay. That last sentence, fuck him. Yeah. The food hit the floor, and then he like tried to hide the evidence of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. He can eat a dick.
Yeah. Brown told the outlet that her family never would have known one of the wings had touched the ground if it weren't for the security footage. Now Brown is pushing for changes to be made in the delivery process and training. If he can't deliver the food with due care, then maybe there's something else out there for him to do. Secondly, on DoorDash's behalf, I'm really not sure what the training is. Maybe it's time to bring the drivers in or require them to have some type of training, Brown told the outlet. In a statement obtained by the outlet, DoorDash admitted that the Florida man's tact was well below the level of service it typically aims to provide. The delivery service said that it was investigating the incident and issued a warning to the driver. I think a warning's a little light, but okay.
I mean, yeah, like grab food, put in vehicle, bring to door, deliver to door, ring doorbell, put on ground. I mean, it's not that hard. What kind of training would they need?
Well, I mean, if you so you spill a wing, you don't put it back in the bag, though. I mean, at that point, you probably inform the customer, you know what, I had an accident. I spilled one of your wings. You know what? If it's all right with you, I'll take the hit on this one. I'll go get you a new order of wings, even if it comes out of my pay. Because it was my fault, right? And then you go get the new order.
Yeah, I know where they hide a semi-truck full of chickens.
I happen to know a poultry farm where I can go get more. I'll get you a whole one. Sure, it's alive, but I'll go get you a new one.
You're going to get your value.
But, you know, but they never do. I suppose if we knew every DoorDash driver that dropped something during the night, I'm sure they'd lose money hand over fist. So
yeah. Like, how many of them go take a restroom break in between and didn't make sure to wash their hands?
Oh, come on. No. Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me. I won't sleep tonight.
How many times have you had a drink delivered that had a straw in it? Little tasty test beforehand, then grab a new straw and put it in. He'll never know, Tim. He'll never know.
You.
Oh, this backfired on you, Tim. I just healed you back.
All right, on that note, what do you got going on there, Rev?
I mean, other than just like releasing a bunch of like toxic Sora videos on a semi-daily basis, not a whole lot. Just more of my shenanigans and tomfoolery. What do you got going on, Tim? You got any special cool trips and stuff, and like come see you do paranormal thingies?
Yep. Actually, let's promote for our friend Jess. While we're on, Jessica Freeberg has a trip after New Year's coming up. I believe it's January 9th. It's the weekend of January 9th at the Palmer House Hotel. Ooh. We will have it in the link of the link will be in this description of this program. We'll do that for her. I don't know why I have hiccups right now, but I do. So again, I have hiccups. Pardon me. But look for that link for the Palmer House Hotel. And it is the Ghost Stories Inc. trip up to the Palmer House Hotel. So all kinds of things, ghost hunts. There will be writers' workshops, art workshops. You don't have to be a writer or an artist to do these workshops, but definitely come investigate the paranormal. I'll be up there that weekend along with Jess, and it will be a heck of a time. We had a great time the last time we did this exact same trip. So come join us up there, please. It's that second weekend of New Year's, so it's going to be fun. Be a lot of fun.
That sounds like a blast.
Mm-hmm. So, and what's really cool is the last time that I was up there that she did this workshop, the people who were painting, she had Sean from I don't remember what Sean's gallery is named, but Sean was showing people how to paint. Even if you don't know how to paint, he shows you how to paint. People were painting the Palmer House sign, and people who didn't know how to paint were painting expertly. They were painting exact replicas of the Palmer House sign outside. And they were like, I never thought I could paint like that. And he was showing them exactly how to paint and how to do it expertly. So it was amazing. I'd never seen anything like it. So it was a real fun time. So come join us. That link will be in the description of this program. Let's see. What else? The executive producer of Darkness Radio and True Crime Tuesday is Troy Palmer. Troy, thank you for everything you do. The other thing, if you're listening to this program, you're not watching the program on video, it's real simple. Go to the original Darkness Radio on YouTube, or just go to darknessradioshow.com, click on whatever show it is you want to watch, and the video will be above the audio. It's all in one place. It all loads in one place. If you don't quite see the video as of yet, it just hasn't been uploaded. Give it a little bit. You'll see the video eventually. I think that's about it for today, Trav. I think we're out of time for today.
Outstanding. Well, thanks for having me again, Timmy. And thank you to the Darkness Radio family. May your forehead smoochies be wet, full, and full of love. Mwah.
I think that's a good way to end it, too. Yeah. All right. Tomorrow, Supernatural News with Mally Fox. Thursday, we'll leave a surprise for right now. So there you go. All right. For Travis Thorpe, I'm Tim Dennis. Thank you so much for joining us today for the best in true crime podcasting. This is True Crime Tuesday.